Audio is far too loud. I can understand. I'm gonna reduce it. It's gonna go away. Now is it better? Sorry. Chesh told me to do a test stream, but I did not. Oh god. I made my notes and then I lost them and then I had to sit and type a bit again and then I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna wing it. That's what happened. That's what happens when you plan a stream on a Friday night. um, uh, if petty officer shipwreck is going to be speaking, any volume is too loud. Very quiet mania, very loud music. Is it still loud? Is it? Do I need to reduce the... Hold on. Let me just see. Give me a sec, guys. Hmm. Give me 1 second. Very quiet mania, very loud music. Is it still loud? Is it? Do I need to reduce the... Hold on. Let me just see. Give me a sec, guys. Hmm. Give me 1 second. Very quiet mania, very loud music. Is it still loud? Is it? My mic is to the max. Do I need to reduce the... Hold on. Let me just check. See. Give me a sec, guys. It's fine now? Okay, cool. Okay, much better. Alright. So, what are we doing here today? Well, first, let's get the closed captions better. Oh my god, this I don't like this new thing. Oof. Subtitles, options, font color, font size. Okay, here we go. Yep, that's much better. So against, so I've decided like I will try every time Steve McRae goes live that I will give him a SmackDown. It was a while. It has been a while since he streamed last on his non sequitur show. I gave him a good 8 hours SmackDown, 8 to 9 hours SmackDown, and he was too scared to poke his head out after that. But he decided to come out again, and this time it's only an hour 15 minute stream, so hopefully we will be able to do it in one setting. Won't need two streams. Hello, Geostrober, how you doing? Come on in, everyone. Get your tea, coffee. I spilled my tea, so I had to make a new one. It's still brewing, and it's getting warmer here. Hi, low energy vids. Listen, guys, I know it's early Friday morning for some people, if I'm not wrong. It's okay if you want to come back and catch on it later. There's no pressure to stay. If you're going for class, you have work, you need to sleep, please, those are your main obligations. Please go and fulfill them. This stream is going to be here when you come back. Yeah? So do not feel obligated that you have to sit here and listen to me. You can come back later and listen to me again. That's fine. Chesh looks differently. Yeah, yeah. Chesh is wearing someone else's skin today. You have 2 hours in Treat Feline? Oh, okay, cool. I'll try my best to cover most of it in 2 hours. No guarantees, alright? Hey, listen, you want to listen to me while you are dozing, half asleep? That's also fine, low energy. There's no pressure. Hi, Athens, welcome. Steve has gone full authentication Nazi and is like that dad from that one podcast who wants death of all Democrats and anyone opposing Trump. Keep sucking that little pee. Oh my god. Chesh, attend a little bit too long. Listen, for some people, I'm not brown enough. And for some people, I'm light enough to pass off as a white bitch. So I don't know. I said that in the live chat before we started. Uh, West Side Girls reacts. Not that I speak for anyone, but how does Reds feel about the new Steve? Reds is pretty liberal. I don't know. I don't like Reds in my personal. I think he's all talk, all bark, and no bite. That's what he is. He talks big, he postures a lot, but when it comes to follow through, he just runs away with his tail between his legs. So I don't give a shit what he thinks. But yeah, it's interesting. Like he claims, I think if I'm wrong, I don't know what he claims he is now, but in the past he was liberal. So yeah, uh, Chitara Crow, I can get away with looking white, especially in winter season. uh, Someone said they have spoken. Oh, Stripper said, I've spoken with Reds only a few days ago. He's fucking horrified. Has he said anything publicly, though? That's the question. In private, this whole thing, oh, we can have disagreements in private. I forgive them as if, an offense was made against them, not against another community for being transphobic, homophobic, racist, or blah, blah, blah. No, no, privately, and we sorted it out. So, but publicly, not gonna say anything. Until and unless, in my opinion, you say it publicly, you share the same you share the same opinions as your friends. I'm just saying. That's me. But who am I? Right? Reds is what? Liberal. Well, he said that he used to you know, he used to tout, if I might say, liberal talking points, if I'm not wrong. From what we know, Reds doesn't care or touch it. Yeah, he doesn't care what Steve does. He's conveniently keeping quiet. That's up to him. That's fine. Whatever. Okay, coming back. So, Steve decided to poke his wee little head out again, and I was like, it's time to smack the mouse again back into its hole. So here I am. So yeah, we should start, and I thought I would start from this point because I don't want to play a stupid intro. And yeah, Geo Strubber from Live Chat. No, I don't think he said anything publicly, but from what I understand, it's because he doesn't want to turn his channel into a political one. That's so convenient. Nobody's telling him to talk on his channel. He can say it on his Twitter if he wants to. He was very conveniently political in the past on his Twitter, wasn't he? But for some reason now it's inconvenient to be political, right? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm not. It's not. I'm not shooting the messenger. I'm just responding. If that's what he is claiming to, I don't know. I am responding to the messenger's message, if I might dare say. So okay, cool. So we'll start with Steve McRae. He comes back, and this time he's saying, hashtag MAGA. Liberalism is destroying America. And what's in the description? Live discussion, politics, philosophy, and anything else. So no description, I guess, you know, because why? I haven't also put a description yet because for some reason I couldn't. I am a manager on Chesh's channel, and for some reason, till yesterday or till actually this evening, I couldn't get into Chesh's channel because it asked me to do two verification process. So I had to activate it from my side, and then it let me in. So I didn't have time to write a description. I'll add it in later. Yeah, because his actions has or have partially played a role in what is happening with Steve now. Yes, he is part. He's part of you know, he's part of that cabal, if I might say, that isolated Steve from his criticizers or from his critics. So yeah, he was a big part in that. He isolated Steve from all his critics, and that's what I believe. Off topic, but has anyone here ever actually used quectometers? Don't know. We'll have to go back and see what those are. All right, so let's start listening to Steve. And please let me know if you can hear him. If not, I will increase the volume for you guys. If he's too loud, then also let me know. Then I'll reduce the volume. Yep. Okay, here we go. Again, this setup. I hate this setup. What is this setup? Like, come on, man. What is this setup? This is so stupid. Oh my god. Look at this. Ugh. Okay. Whatever. Let's see if this works.
All right, there we go. Hey, I think that's correct. I haven't used this.
I'm going to speed him up a bit because yeah, playback speed. Let's see. If he's too fast, just let me know. There we go.
Software in so long. Hey, welcome everyone. I don't know how many people are going to watch this. Don't really care anymore, to be honest with you. I have been so not doing stuff online and just enjoying my life, and it's been great actually. So, occasionally I do want to stream, and today is actually one of those days. It is a good weekend. It's a beautiful day out here in California, even though there's a lot of strange stuff going on with the ballots, with the Proposition 50 stuff, which we'll get into. So I figured today.
Oh, I would love you to get into that stuff, Steve. I would love for you to get into that stuff. You know? So yeah, yeah, we are watching your TED Talk today. Don't worry. And I will smack you down with receipts again. So get ready for some thunder.
I was just going to kind of like, I don't know, go over like some stuff on Twitter and Facebook like I have before, and just kind of do a compare and contrast between.
Comic Sans, you don't like Comic Sans? Okay, I can change that. That's not a problem. Hold on, hold on. Options, font size, font family. It says casual. That does. That does. That does. That does. I'll use that one. There you go. Better? Alright, let's go.
What I've seen from the liberal side as far as opposed to the conservative side. Like, people do know that I generally consider myself to be a centrist, although central.
That's what I'm going to point out today. How, like, that's the title of my stream also today, right? How Steve, like, he rebrands, you know, right or far right, ideas as central ideas. So he tries, but he fails, and that's what the rhetoric is from the right, if I might dare say. But we can talk about that later. This is on Steve. We are going to focus on Steve. You did not missed anything, Babaton. We just started, so welcome all.
Right. However, the Overton window has shifted so much that I'm probably now considered to be far Looney Tune right, I guess, according to most people. But generally, I'm moderate right, and so.
First you said you were centrist, and now you're saying moderate right. Can you decide who you are? Maybe how we could measure how who you are, whether you are centrist or a far right or a moderate right. If you tell us your stance on three policies, on any three policies, healthcare, immigration, you know, anything like that, then we would for sure know how far right or how moderate right or how centrist you are. But for some reason, even in the last stream, we saw that Steve talks very vaguely. He does not mention any policies or what his stances are. Yeah, he says he's against immigration. He's against illegals, but not specifically what kind of illegals he's talking about. Like, in what sense? Because they're refugees. Refugees are not illegal. So which illegals? The only illegals you can be talking about is people. I don't know. I don't get it. So yeah, Athens from the live chat. Whoever says they're moderate, they never are. I just, I just think that if you want to really, really specify like how what your ideology is, or like what side of the politics you are, you need to talk about policy. That in today's time, that what will really define who you are, or what your political stance is, if I might dare say. Tony Designs from the live chat. Steve has no concept of economics, political science, or political philosophy of any kind really, so he can't address these things. He he has become lazy. He has stopped learning. He has stopped reading. He skims now, and he hears, but he doesn't listen. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. He's become lazy. I guess it's easier for me, isn't it? All right. Okay.
I kind of wanted to look at things from my perspective as opposed to the perspective that I'm seeing with comments left on my social media, because some of the comments left on my social media are just bat s crazy, right?
He hasn't shown us. He hasn't shown us any comments, but he's already told us that they're batshit crazy. So he's poisoning the well, right? And again, he's like, oh, I want to see this from my perspective rather than the comments that are on my Facebook or social media. Dissent and debate, is always better than being in an echo chamber. You're not going to make any changes by sitting in an echo chamber. I'm just saying that. And looks like Steve has become lazy and comfortable by sitting in an echo chamber.
I can't curse, by the way. The first 2 minutes, I guess, when you do a feed now, or else you lose monetization. Not that I make a dime off these things. I don't, but I do them because I enjoy them. That's all. I really do.
Oh,
I do like
see.
connecting with people. I do like talking about the discussions I like to talk about. And of course, my neighbor who keeps walking by and distracting me, she likes listening to my stuff. And so at least one person.
Leave your fucking neighbor alone. You said he, and then you said she. Can you decide who? Oh, hold on, hold on.
I do like connecting with people. I do like talking about the discussions I like to talk about. And of course, my neighbor who keeps walking by and distracting me, she likes listening to my
Oh,
stuff. And so at
she.
least one person
Of course, it's a woman.
will listen. That I know.
At least one person will listen. Oh my god. So so if I keep looking on the side, I've got my notes here, right? My notes, my beautiful notes that I had to type again. So maybe I'll just go a little bit like this so that you know. So yeah, he like it's it's so like he's like I don't know if how many people watch this. I don't really care. Not been I've not been doing stuff online. I'm just enjoying my life. It's like he's trying to claim disinterest, right? In viewership as if detachment somehow gives him some kind of credibility, right? If you say that you don't care about viewership or you don't care about views or numbers, that means that you have credibility and what you're saying is right or some, you know, in that context. This is what is called a Motte and Bailey defense, if I'm not wrong, in real time, you know, trying to retreat into humility. I'm just doing this for fun, and and doing that whenever you're threatened with accountability, or you feel threatened that you will be held accountable for what you're about to say or what you're about to present, and then you go on further to make grand pronouncements. Once everyone's guard is down. So, in short, by disclaiming ambition, he invites the audience to treat his words as honest reflections rather than propaganda. That's what he's trying to do, right? It's a and also it's a false modesty shield, if I might dare say. The very performance of apathy becomes its own appeal to ethos. So, distracted by a neighbor who thinks he's a creepy asshole. Yeah, right. So this is like from the start. He's like, oh, I do this for fun. I don't care if it gets any views, but at least one person will listen to me. He cares. Let's just say he cares.
Know for a fact will listen. So, anyways, I don't want to keep these things very long like I used to.
Hey,
I do want to only
Tom.
stream for like maybe hour,
Hey,
and
Tom.
I've got pizza that I'm going to order tonight. But in
Oh, quick, someone, don't order pizza, okay? Don't order pizza.
the interim, let's dive into some of the things I wanted to actually discuss because one of them was just like a few minutes ago. Very strange comment that I saw that was posted on David Silverman's channel. If you guys remember, David Silverman was the president of Atheist.
Was.
What is it? What was he? What was he the president of? One of those atheists.
Oh my god, he even forgot what day. Oh god, he forgot who David Silverman was. Oh my goodness. Oh god, how pathetic do you have to be? Ay, 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 ay. What did you send me, my man? What are you talking about? Let me just have a look. Okay, it's taking its
How
sweet time.
much water would you have to
Ugh, America's worst dad. Okay, cool. Whatever. We'll watch it later. Planet Peterson, America's worst dad. Oh God. Oh, I see who you were talking about that dad who sits on a podcast and he wants everyone to, every Democrat to. Yeah, got it, got it, got it. Um, so you don't know who David Silverman is? Seriously, dude, you forgot? You had him on your show. For fuck's sake, do some homework. Or just open this tab and just go with who is David David, sorry. Silverman. Just type that. Like David Silverman. Like you'll get all that you want. Like, you know, education known for atheist, separation of churches, criticism of religion, international conference, da 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 da. You can just, you can just open and see who he is. right? If he was ever a president of someone, yeah, he previously served as a president of American Atheists. Do some homework, dude, seriously. Or simply just click on his fucking page and see. It must be in his About Us page. I don't have a Facebook, so I can't do that, so yeah.
Atheist Republic things.
Hold on, let me just see if I can make it bigger because it's like like, can I make this bigger for you guys so you can see it, like, actually what's on, what is he saying? Like, what is it? Hold on, let me just see if it becomes bigger. Yeah, that's better, isn't it? Can you see what's on the screen? Like, or do I have to, like, make it? Hold on, let me see if I can make it bigger. Is that better? This should be better. Can you see what it says? Okay, you know what? I'll read it for you guys. I'll just read it for you guys. Hold on. Now I cannot reposition the window. Come back. Thank you very, very much. There we go. Okay, so it says, Steve McRae, John Armstrong, why? Dave and I have had our disagreements and our agreements, but he ain't wrong on this. Trump derangement syndrome is very real. Then someone says, I can't read it. For the love of my life, I can't read this. Oh my god. Steve McRae, MAGA delusion syndrome is very, very real and even more dangerous. If you believe Trump is just another Republican, then you are seriously deluding yourself. In case you didn't get the memo, the Republican Party doesn't exist anymore. They have been hijacked by Trump. In its place, we now have the white national Christian fascist party. And then Steve McRae replied to this person, bro, that's insane. Only very, very stupid people believe that. James L. Linden says, in my Jesus bone. I don't know what that means. So basically, someone saying is, so I, so I think so. There's a disagreement in definition here on what Trump. Okay, hold on. No, sorry. So it says Trump derangement syndrome, and the other one is saying MAGA delusion syndrome. So they're both like, the other side is delusional. Hello, hi everyone. I'm just getting warmed up, so please bear with me. All right. There we go.
Was it Atheist no, not Atheist Anonymous. Whatever the hell it was.
Whatever the hell it was, American Atheist. Didn't take me a minute to, like, confirm. Like, look. Fucking
American
baka.
Atheist. Thank you. I had to think about that.
Someone in the live chat had to tell him. Oh my goodness. Did someone in the live chat tell him that? Hold on.
It's been so long since I've done anything with the atheism stuff, right? But yeah, he was the president of American Atheist, and I've always got along with the guy. We don't agree on a few things, but we always
Yeah, I wonder why.
have had civil discord. He's been on my channel, I've been on his channel, but this was on his Facebook page, so it's public. I'm not like sharing anything that's not supposed to be, not shown. But this guy right here, if you guys can read this, I am streaming hopefully in 1080p. If not, let me know and let me.
No, Steve, your presentation window is really, really small. I had to read it for my audience. At least do the courtesy of reading this to your audience.
Make sure that you can actually hear me out there. It looks like my audio is fine. But if you're having audio issues, let me know. I can adjust the gain a little bit. And yes, I got a new web camera. Look, high definition web camera. Maybe I should put on my sunglasses so I can look cool. Because that sun is right there.
Then close the fucking window. If the
In
sun
my
is in your
face.
face.
No, don't like it. But this is what this is what drives me crazy nowadays, because I'm so over this emotional nonsense that people keep bringing to my page and into my life. I keep telling people I am not going to give a crap about your arguments if they're from just an emotional diatribe laden position.
This is the one who said that by killing Charlie Kirk, a future presidential candidate was killed. This is what this guy said. And now he's projecting this. He was the one being emotional and coming up with emotional diatribe, calling, people on the left as being, unreasonable, dangerous, and all that. Fear mongering, which is also part of the, being, emotional. And he's projecting it onto, I don't, on his dissenters here. Anyone who, who disagrees with him, they are the people They are the people who are emotional and unreasonable. Not him. Not this fella. So yeah. Naja Cat from the live chat. Not gonna show things not supposed to be shown unless it's photos and videos of women slash dates he abused. Don't get me started about that. We'll Chesh and I have spoken about that on Dumbfuck Friday. Yeah, just don't get me started. If you're so over it, stop bringing it up. Bringing it up. Yeah, sure. Don't indulge in that conversation if you're over that conversation. I'm just saying, you know. Uh, you can ignore people, Steve. There's a reason that you have a restraining order against you, a lifetime restraining order against you, by the way, because you cannot ignore people. But conveniently, you can ignore people who criticize you for some reason. But you don't ignore people where you think you have power over them or over the situation that you are in with them. Just saying. Steve is more emotional than a pregnant woman having PMS while going through menopause. Hey, no. Don't drag PMSing women or women going through menopause. Don't. That's unfair. Alright, so what's in my notes? Don't come back, my notes. So, okay, what? Okay, so he's going on blah 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 blah.
I don't care about these purity tests. I don't care about.
You are the one who do the purity test, Steve. In my last two streams, I demonstrated that you are the one who does it. Anyone who goes against Trump nowadays is not a patriotic person according to you. Anyone who disagrees with you is dishonest. That's a purity test in itself. Instead of addressing the questions or their points, you just label them as emotional or unreasonable or having some sort of like what was that Trump derangement syndrome. You are the one who does the purity test. I don't know what to say.
Personal issues you have with somebody in politics. I care about the facts. I care about the details. You can
You have gotten facts wrong again and again. You have gotten facts wrong about your own constitution. Yeah, I can see you have stopped talking about Trump like having a third presidency for some reason since my last, what do you say, my last stream about you. I wonder why. Maybe because I smacked you down and I informed you about your own constitution. You fucking baka. He will never talk about details. No, he will never talk about details. He's a coward, and he's lazy. He doesn't do his homework, right? So yeah,
hate Trump all you want, but let's talk.
nobody hates Trump. I don't think so. People hate Trump. People are just over him. They're just like, get out of here, dude. Let the adults do the job. You know, that's what people are saying. They're
About the
over him.
facts, and I don't give a shit what happened. Oh, there goes my monetization. I don't give a shit what happened.
Your monetization is nowhere anyway, Steve. And first 5 minutes is just like me. That's what this is.
12 years ago.
What happened 12 years ago? Why? Because 12 years ago you were more honest, more reasonable? Is that what it is? You did your homework? Is that what it is?
Before he even ran for president. I just don't. People can talk about his bankruptcies and this other stuff, which they all get wrong. He did have bankruptcies, but they were Chapter 11s, and they weren't personal. They were actually for casinos, and he didn't.
What? Hang on. What?
Own them when they finally did go out of business, but he was just reorganizing and restructuring because that's what a normal course of business does. You file a Chapter 11, which allows you to reorganize your business to pay off debts, not like a Chapter 7 where you liquidate and you have to just dissolve the business. This is what people do in business. He's a businessman. So to say that he had Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
Hold on. I don't have these in my notes. Give me a sec. I need to see what's going on. Where's my transcript? Hello. This one. Is hyperbolic language, Brank says, blah blah blah. I need to find out if this is true or not. Like what he's saying here. I thought I had that in my notes, but okay, whatever. Okay, we'll come back to this later. I put a pin into it. We'll come back to this later.
Is absolutely irrelevant. It makes no matter to me because that's just a normal.
Why doesn't it matter to you? Because that should tell you about, how competent Trump is. You know, like that should tell you how competent a person is. That tells us how competent a person you are, and where you really stand, and what you're allow what kind of like incompetency you will allow your own country to be ruled by. I must just say. I'm just saying. Just saying. So I'm just looking over here, right? So in most blending accurate technical distinctions. Okay. Yeah, it's true that Trump personally never filed Chapter 7 or personal bankruptcy. That's fine. Chapter 11 is a corporate reorganization process rather than a personal liquidation. That's what it is, right? I have my notes. I found them. But his like Steve's framing, it's omitting the real substance of the issue that Trump's companies repeatedly collapsed under his leadership or his control, you know, and wiping out investors and other people's stakes while he was personally gaining millions. That's what the thing is. He still gained from these bankruptcies while his investors and his stakeholders suffered. That's what the point is. It's not the point whether it comes under this or that, whether he owned them or not owned them. And that's where this dishonesty comes from Steve, right? And also, like, Trump, in my notes I can see this here, I found them. It says Trump controlled entities filed six corporate bankruptcies between 1991 and 2009, all tied to his Atlantic City's casinos and hotel ventures. And you know where I got this from? Hold on. Let me just get the. Oh. What? No, 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 no. I've got a link to it. Hold on. Here we go. Let's see if this helps. I've got two. My article is gone. No. Uh, let's see this again. So, you know, as Trump declared, you know, bankruptcy 6 times. Here's my another article that I have over here. Here are my lists, right? Here we go. American Bankruptcy Institute. So yeah, I like I got my resources. He doesn't seem to have his resources, so I don't know what to say. Like, this is the website called American Bankruptcy Institute. I don't think so. It's coming total on three. So here it is. I got my receipts. I just say I do my homework.
Normal course of doing business.
Also, if I might continue back from my notes, so saying that he didn't own them when they failed is straight up misleading. And I don't know why Steve is doing this on purpose. Like, you can't turn the sound on. Sorry, dude. Yeah. So, what's going on? So, like, what is misleading is that he was the controlling owner or the principal stakeholder during each filing, right? So I don't know where Steve got this from that he didn't own them. He was the principal stakeholder owner or a controlling owner in each filing. In 1991's Taj Mahal case, for example, he owned approximately 47% of the company's equity and personally guaranteed 900 million in debt before restructuring. Post filing, he often ceded majority control to creditors in exchange for reduced personal liability, a loss of ownership not prove, which is not a proof that which is not a proof of that he was uninvolved. He was involved to an extent, right? And then saying it's what normal businesses do, right? It's true in theory, but in relation to Donald Trump, it's false, right? Large corporations, they do use Chapter 11 to reorganize in crisis. Successful business leaders rarely repeat it 6 times, though, in less than 2 decades. If you're a good leader and you're a successful leader, especially a successful business leader, you shouldn't be having 6 bankruptcies. So the basic principle is, it's about, companies repeatedly collapsing under his control, therefore his competency comes under question. And to say that he didn't have any stake in those companies when he was principal stakeholder in most of the majority of them is misleading and frankly a lie, in my opinion. If you did not do your research, it's your fault, Steve. And I'm going to hold you accountable for it. Do your fucking research, and we haven't even gotten past 6 minutes. And I had to go back to my notes and find those notes where I'd written down that, what the fuck. I copied everything down, timestamp by timestamp. That's why I was surprised that I couldn't find these timestamps. So yeah, and yeah, I kind of half prepared because I started streaming immediately after work.
He didn't have a single solitary personal bankruptcy. But anyways, this is the kind of stuff that I really
What?
have to try to put the kibosh on when it comes to my personal.
What is kibosh? Can someone explain to me what's kibosh? Naja Cat, Steve would say he's also been a successful business owner. Says, oh my god. Naja, oh my god, that's savage. That's savage. Naja Cat from the live chat said, sorry, Steve would say he's also been a successful business owner of NSS. Oh my god, this is funny. This is funny.
Social media, because people will come to my page and they'll start using hyperbolic language.
Like what? Like what?
To me, is it not that it's offensive? It's just doesn't get anywhere. If you want to call
what?
Trump names like Hitler and dictator and fascist, you have every right.
Dude, you are the one who started with Trump derangement syndrome in this whole. That's what I'm seeing here. You are starting with Trump derangement syndrome, and this other person is responding to you. So I don't know who's the one who started the hyperbolic language here in the first place. You are the one, it seems, who started that hyperbolic language in the first place, and the other person is just responding to you in kind. So why are you so mad? Right? It's so stupid. Hi, Wendy. Good morning. I just don't get it. Seriously. Blah, blah. I just don't get it.
To do so. I mean, that's your First Amendment ability.
Okay.
But it's not going to do a damn thing to me as far as.
Yeah, we know that you're a stubborn piece of shit who's sitting in an echo chamber, who doesn't want to change, who doesn't want to do any homework or any research. We know that. We get it. Okay, moving on.
Engaging in a dialogue. Because I'm just going to think you're a loon, and I'm going to go, okay, that's your belief, put it aside, now let's talk about the facts, right?
All right, let's talk about the
and
facts.
I just
you got your first fact wrong, that Trump didn't own the bankruptcies. You got it wrong. Moving on.
Somebody today who wants me to come on their channel, Signs and Wonder, that I said, look, I can't.
Steve trying to name drop other creators, hoping he could get some clout off them.
I mean, find a single solitary liberal willing to come on to have a discussion with that isn't going to basically be insufferable, isn't going to be an emotional wreck that just wants to talk about how orange man bad rather than talk about, okay, what's the benefits of having a yes on the Prop 50 vote? What's the benefits of having a no vote, right?
You want to talk about the Prop 50 vote? And also, again, like this, he's painting the other side with this brush, demonizing the other side by saying, oh, they're a loon. I don't think you're a loon. It's a bad belief. I'm going to put it on side, right? And then he also said, if I'm not wrong, let's go back to the transcript, right? He said, where is it? Sorry. What time step? 7:57, right? So he said, right now, to talk about basically insufferable. Can't even find a single solitary liberal willing to come on and have a discussion that what is going to be basically be insufferable or is going to be an emotional wreck and just wants to talk about how Orange went bad. So he's demonizing the other side, right? He is throwing pejoratives at them, right? He's the one using hyperbolic language here and projecting it onto the other side. Like, Steve, do you think we don't see through you? We see through this. This is so easy to just crack. Like, I just flick on that glass of yours and it just cracks the whole thing. One flick. That's all it takes. Right? Oh yeah, he puts up a lot of straw men. He does. This is all ad hominem against the other side, against people who disagree with him. This is all straw men. That's what this is. He's poisoning the well. He's throwing ad hominems. He's demonizing the other side. That's what his gameplay is now. For first at least 9 minutes or 10 minutes.
Now, I will tell you right now, if you vote yes on Proposition 50, I don't think you understand what the hell you're voting for.
Again, not asking people who voted yes or no, why did they do it? What is their understanding? Just immediately dismissing them and saying, you don't get it. Like, this is pure dishonesty and laziness. Incompetent, lazy, dyspeptic nincompoop, ladies and gentlemen. Who thinks he can talk his way through anything and think that this lazy presentation and this lazy rhetoric will get him views or even one person will want to listen to that, to this. Maybe some people will come and watch this and listen to this and then just go like, face palm. Not very late, Jessica. Hi, Jessica. How are you? Thanks everyone for coming. No worries. So I'm just saying, like, for the first 10 minutes, and now he's starting to talk about like Proposition, 50 and all that stuff. So we'll talk about that also, right? Um, here we go. Okay, let's see.
Absolutely should be a no vote because it's basically getting away with the Citizens Redistricting Commission, right? It basically is dissolving what the voters of voters of California voted in to have, which is fair and equal, impartial redistricting for representation of Californians. Because in California, there's something like 46% conservative, and they just want to get rid of that. That's not fair. That's not how it works. And I do think that if
See, you just gave this, percentage out of like 46% conservative, right? That's what you said.
for representation of Californians, because in California, there's something like 46% conservative. And
Where did you get this data from? Where did the stat come from? Can you present me something? Because I didn't find it. Yes, California's 2025 Proposition 50 proposes replacing the independent commission with legislatively appointed board. Yes. And you're conflating the motives here. You don't know what the fucking motive is. Have you asked the, people who have brought this legislation in or voted this legislation or are trying to bring this legislation in? Have you asked them what their motive is? You're just conflating motives here by saying, oh, they want to get rid of it without sourcing. Right? So, yeah, with Steve, you also have to listen sometimes. Like, he will just throw around these numbers. Oh, 46% conservative. Where did he get that number from? You don't know. Then he starts conflating motives of the other side. Oh, they want to get rid of this. They want to get rid. They don't want this. They don't want America to progress. Blah 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 blah. He starts doing that. Again, he provides no sources. As soon as I started, I provided my sources about Trump's bankruptcies and stuff. I did. I brought them on the screen. If anyone wants, I can put them in the live chat. Hang in there. They're still open. You know, I might be wrong. I might have gotten the wrong resources. It's totally possible. You know, I'm happy to, accept that I'm wrong. Oh, why am I inspecting the element? Go away. I'm not inspecting. I'm pasting. There you go. I, you know, like, just go for it. Here, I might be wrong. I might be wrong. It's fine. Criticize me. But at least, this one doesn't want to, this one doesn't want to go. Okay, this Washington Post article doesn't wanna. It's too long. Too long link, but the other one is there. Sorry, my bad. But the if you wanna go and look for the headline, that's what it is for the Washington Post. Hold on, I'll just put it in here. This is the Washington. No, go away. Oy vey. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying. Give me a sec. Washington Post. Copy. This is what it is. You can go and look for it, right? Um. So going back.
They just want to get rid of that. That's not
Yeah.
fair.
That's not fair.
That's not how it works. And
How does it work?
I do
then?
think that if, for some strange reason, and it might, I'm not going to even say that it is or isn't going to pass, because right now it's kind of a coin toss. But if it does pass, I do think there's going to be significant legal challenges to it. I really, really do.
I don't know what the fuck he's talking about here. Nobody knows what the fuck he's talking about here. There will be significant challenges to it. What kind of challenges, Steve? Please explain to us in detail. Give us one example of what legal challenges you're talking about. Anything? Nothing? Alright. You know, I thought that was GGC, but my memory isn't via multiple receipt service on Discord, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So yeah.
But like I said, the people that are voting yes on it couldn't even tell you what the proposition is even for, or even what the Citizens Redistricting Commission was even for, or even how probably seats work.
I just explained it. Or you know what you can do to show it to your audience? You know what you can do? Just go with what is. Here we go. What is California's Proposition 50? Also, Election Rigging Response Act is a constitutional amendment that will appear on the special election ballot. The proposition was put on the ballot by Democrat-led legislation and would authorize a mid-decade redrawing of congressional districts, replacing the ones drawn by bipartisan California Citizens Redistricting Commission. So this is actually in opposition or to counter gerrymandering. That's what it is. I found it by just Googling it, but Steve just says there are legal problems with it, but he doesn't tell us what Proposition 50 is and what it is for. I'm just saying, like, it's so easy to just sit here and just again, he's lazy. He's fucking lazy.
Because it's not just necessarily gerrymandering. It is beyond that. It is literally trying to wipe out 48% representation in California.
Again, 48% representation.
That's insidious.
Where did you get that number from, Steve? Where did you get that number from? Can you please bring some receipt? Please?
I wouldn't even want that for the liberals. So, and I'm very much against liberals at this point. But this is what I really want.
For no reason, right? He brings up the Proposition 50, doesn't explain what it is, right? And then he's like, oh, it's not even about gerrymandering. Just brings up randomly gerrymandering. We don't know, according to, so far what he has told us, we don't know how Proposition 50 and gerrymandering are related to each other, or affect each other, or how Proposition 50 will affect gerrymandering. He talks about, these legal problems that might come up, and blah, 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 blah. Never specifies, not even gives one example of anything that could come up. Like any legal issues that might come up because of this, right? And then just labels people he apparently thinks have brought in this proposition or legislation, liberals, and then just demonizes them. Oh, they brought it in, so this is insidious, they're bad people. Who's using hyperbolic language here, Steve? Please. Do you know what hyperbolic means? Do you know what the phrase hyperbolic language means? By any chance? No? Naja Cat is right. Steve, define a liberal and why you're against them. Again, that's very, very right. That's a very good question, Naja. That's what I asked Steve. Steve, you want to define yourself. You're a moderate right. You're a centrist. You're far right. Define who, according to you, is a moderate right, far right, or centrist. You know how you can define that? by explaining what someone's stance would be on some policies. That's how you are able to then categorize them. But because he's a lazy piece of shit and he wants to pass off his, whatever this vitriol and diatribe is, as like being centrist and trying to sound like all intellectual, just talks in vague terms, hoping that if you use complicated words or complicated phrases, or cherry picks phrases from like legislation and all, people will take him seriously. When actually you break it down, he's just talking nonsense.
I want to talk about. So this guy, I have no idea who this guy even is, but he wrote me, and this was only what 50
I don't know this guy, who this guy is, but he affected me so much that I had to do a live stream about him.
5 minutes ago, right? So it was within the hour. He wrote,
No, he cannot, Naja. He cannot provide.
MAGA delusion syndrome, right? A take on Trump derangement syndrome, which is a very real and legit thing. I am telling.
Citation needed. Can I go with this? Citation needed. Well, everything that all the claims, all the stats that he has thrown out till now. Citation needed. Thank you.
Telling you that one day, far in the future, probably maybe decade or two,
after you're dead,
colleges will have courses on Trump derangement syndrome. It'll be something
oh my god, what the fuck? Colleges will have courses on Trump derangement syndrome, and you know who they're going to cite and quote? Steve McRae. Oh my god, this is so
study
stupid.
and psychology, because the way Trump derangement syndrome came about is a fascinating progression of propaganda and insipid ideology and Marxism and a bunch of
Define Marxism. What is Marxism, Steve?
other things that had a consilience with each other to come in.
Again, he thinks using these words like consilience and all, it will make him sound like, yeah, whatever he's saying is legit. But he hasn't defined anything from the start. Nothing. Who's far right, who's woke, who's a Marxist, you know, nothing.
And basically convince average Americans of the most ridiculous things.
Like what?
CNN just came out with a poll not too long ago, and again, polls are for whatever they're worth, But this is
Yeah, of course, polls don't work for Steve because they go against his rhetoric. That's why. Against the bullshit he wants to spew, they debunk him. So that's why polls are whatever they're worth. No, no. Tony Designs from the live chat. He has no concept what Marxism is. That was part of the break Leo Phyllis had with him. Leo has nuanced understanding of it. Sure, sure. You know, I don't claim to have nuanced understanding of it. For me, it's like with the amount of like stuff that goes on at work and the amount of that stuff that I have to stuff in my brain, if I might dare say, I have to always go back and revisit concepts. I always have to go back. That's why whenever I do a Steve stream, I always have notes. You might say I'm reacting live, but I've done my preparation because I'm not an idiot like Steve. I don't want to look like an idiot like Steve. Just saying.
It's unusual when CNN has a poll that actually expresses things that they normally would not agree with.
They are an independent. They are a news channel. Like again, just throwing out shit, hoping it sticks on CNN. Trying to attack ad hominem them. You know, like they are a news channel. Why wouldn't they publish the results of their polls, even if it, whatever the if it, the polls don't agree with whatever their opinions are. Like, why wouldn't they? I don't know what he's talking
But their
about.
polls are showing that the majority of Democrats literally have a favorable view of communism, socialism, and Marxism.
Number one, present what the poll is, right? And number two, uh, what did they define communism, socialism, and Marxism as, right? And why is it bad? And why do they have a favorable view? One wonders, right? These are the questions you can look into. But Steve, because he's a lazy piece of shit, he's just gonna say because they favor Marxism, socialism, communism, he will not define them. He will just throw these terms. If you're in favor of that, then you're a bad person, or that you're not worth arguing with or debating with, or Steve can then dismiss your opinion or your criticism of him, because Marxism bad, communism bad, socialism bad.
This is unheard of. Back in the day, they actually
Show the poll. What the fuck is the poll?
had acts to try to prevent people that were communists from getting voted into office. Now there were some legalities with that, but there were, these acts to try to prevent communism from spreading. Because back in the day, communism was a big thing. People were against communism.
Like what? Please tell us some acts, please, that were, passed to like stop from communism from spreading. What the fuck you're talking about? Does anybody know what he's talking about? This is the same shit he was like, oh, we need to go back to the basics, we need to go back to that era. Which era we don't know.
They were pro-America, right? They were like, God bless America.
Again, this, conflation and this, or I might dare say, trying to equate, like by saying like if you're a communist, you're not pro-American. What the fuck? When did that happen? Huh? Nani? Hold on. Hold on. Nani? What? Again, he says this, right?
Getting voted into office. Now there were some legalities with that, but there were, these
What
acts to try to
legalities?
prevent communism from spreading. Because
What are these acts that they put forth to prevent communism from spreading? Can you please tell us, Steve? Please enlighten us. Oh, great Steve.
back in the day, communism was a big thing. People were against communism. They were pro-America, right? They were like,
What was communism back then, right? Number one, what were the acts, right, that were passed? Number two, what was communism defined as in that era? What era you're talking about, we have no fucking idea. And why it was considered pro-American? Who said that it was pro-American to go against communism in some forgotten era? We don't know what which era he's mentioning. We have no fucking clue. Again, vague terms, vague timelines, vague definitions, vague laws. I we have no fucking clue what he's talking about. Ooh, you're baking pancakes. Nice, 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 nice. Ooh, nice. Now I'm hungry. I'm hungry. God. Why is it so easy to debunk him? Seriously, I don't do this on regular basis, anyways. Like, what the fuck?
God bless America, flag and apple pie and grandma. But now it's, oh, let's have socialism. Let's have Marxism. Let's support everything that America is against. And the Democrats seem to favor every.
Again, ideologies change over time. Definitions also change over time. You know, depending on the economic status of the world, or in of a particular country, and what role they play in that global economy, things change. So to just outright blanket say that socialism is against America for all of the end of the time is just stupid, and frankly close-minded, in my opinion. So anyone can just correct me if I'm wrong. Like, duh, what?
Everything that myself, as a veteran who served proudly to fight against, has a very different view. They're against.
Like he again, Steve brings in his like veteran status as if again it gives him some sort of credibility. When what should bring credibility to his arguments as citations, facts. He says he makes this hue cry about, oh, I talk about facts. I want to talk about facts, but all he has been doing right now is just me. The good old days. Without presenting anything, nothing specific. He doesn't walk the talk. He just talks. Intrigue feline from the live chat. If you look at party policies back then, you can see it shift in those 2 decades. Yeah, sure. Things change, man, over time. Exactly. Laurie 982 from the live chat. Does he still have veteran benefits? That is socialism. Exactly. That is part of socialism. He just doesn't get it. He just doesn't get it. Exploration or exploitation? Athens. Steve is pro suffering and exploitation. As long as it doesn't affect him, he's okay. That's his thing now.
Against capitalism, which again, America was predicated on capitalism.
No, America was not always predicated on capitalism. It's so stupid.
They're very pro-socialism. They're pro-open borders. They're pro.
Who are they now? Hold on, who are they? Democrats? Okay. Again, he has not defined what Marxism is, what socialism is. You know, blah 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 blah.
Criminals. They're pro-gang.
Pro criminals? They're pro what?
Members. They're pro-terrorism.
What? Just again throwing in pejoratives like and ad hominems. Again, sir. Not sir. You fucking baka. Citation needed. What the fuck? They're pro gang members. They're pro terrorism. They're pro. What? Republicans have Trump, who's a criminal, sitting in the office, not Democrats. I'll just leave it there. Just saying. That's why Steve in the beginning started with, the bankruptcies, they were not in his name, He was trying to distance Trump from so that he can say that Republicans is not a party of pro-criminals because and also like, the Epstein files and stuff that Steve keeps harping on about. He tries to distance Trump from it so that he can say these things about Democrats without anything to represent for it. So, yeah.
I mean, what is it the Liberal Party even stands for any longer?
Is it the Democrats or the Liberal Party? Can you decide? Or are you saying both are same? You haven't described who Democrats are. You haven't described who the Liberal Party is. I don't get it. Again, just throwing shit out, hoping something will, stick.
Because everything I've seen from them is Orange Man bad. And this is an example of this. And I know I've already spoke for like 10 minutes. I haven't even got into what I want to talk about yet.
Astute observation, Steve. Not 10, but 11.
So I apologize, but you
appeals to unquestioned assumptions. Yeah, he's conflating the motives, and he's questioning the motive. That's what he's doing, without any citation or sourcing. Yeah, he's a brainless script robot now.
You know me, I ramble a lot.
Yeah,
especially when I've had my coffee.
No, not when you have had your coffee. It's when you are trying to poison the well, you're trying to demonize the people you're going to, talk against, so that you don't have to bring up citations or sources. You can play on people's emotions and, hope you can get away with it by doing this, lazy shit live stream. That's why. Coffee has nothing to do with it. I have coffee. I also ramble, but I ramble good stuff. On that note, actually, let me just get some tea. My tea's sitting there forever. Give me a sec. Sorry, guys. I spilled my tea initially, and then I had to make a new one, and now it's just sitting there. Let me just put it in the microwave, and then come back quickly. Sorry. Please bear with me. Please bear with me. Okay. So. Good coffee.
Plus, I haven't streamed for a while. I've got to get back into it.
Yeah, I wonder why, Steve. Maybe because I smacked you down last time. Maybe that's why.
But this guy wrote, MAGA delusion syndrome. Somebody says, can you show the CNN poll, Steve? I'm unfamiliar with it. Yeah, it was just like a couple days ago. The poll, I don't have it right at my fingertips.
Again, someone is saying, dude, which poll you're talking about? Can you get us some, you know, receipts for it, citation for it? And he's like, oh, I don't have it on my fingertips. Blah, blah, blah. I'm a lazy piece of shit. And again, if you notice, he dishonestly starts from the guy's, comment, MAGA delusion syndrome. He doesn't show that he started with Trump derangement syndrome. He's the one who started with the hyperbolics and the emotional language first. I'm just saying. God. What happened? Your message didn't go through? 99% of Steve's suffering is caused by one person, Steve.
But the pollster,
Yeah,
the
where
senior
is it?
pollster, I forget his name, but he was showing that there's a huge trend. I think it was like 44% plus some
46%, 48%, 44%. He doesn't have a clue where he got them from. He's like, "Oh, there's this person." He doesn't even remember the name of the fucking person. What the fuck? Oh my god. Like, at least remember the, like, do some research. He forgot who David Silverman was. Whoa, sorry. I tripped on my carpet. Sorry, my bad. He forgot who David Silverman was. What the fuck? Nearly spilled my tea, guys. Like, dude. Nani? Oh god. Ugh.
independents that are more willing to accept socialism, Marxism, communism.
So now it's independence. First you said Democrats, then you switched to liberals, and then you're coming back to independence. Can you decide? You know, it would have been very easy if you had presented, the link to that poll. Just saying. Can we find that, you know? Mm, mm, let's see. Nope, doesn't work. Mm, uh, 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 uh. Nope, not working. If I go and I type CNN poll, Democrats, socialism, mm, is that the one? CNN's intent, popularity of socialism amongst Democrats is up like nearly 30 points. Maybe that's the one. Is that the one he was watching? Or
All right, this week, the Democratic governor of New York, Kathy Hochul, has endorsed the candidate for mayor here in New York who won the Democratic primary, Zohran Mamdani. Other Democratic officials have not. Mamdani calls himself a Democratic socialist, which, of course, is something that Bernie Sanders and Vermont.
maybe. Again, Steve, it's on you. If you're going to make a claim, you need to show citations for it. Like, what the fuck?
So it's a trend that has been quite a few. I think it was a 14-point difference than it was like 10 years ago. But yeah, you can go to CNN and look. I mean, like I said, I've done.
Where is it? Like, even if you go in the description, does he post it? It's not even in the description. At least do your audience a favor, who are coming to your channel and looking at it, to give them the description. At least I posted not in the, sorry, to post the links in the description. At least I posted a couple of links in the live chat. I did more than you. Even though if I did bare minimum. I admit that.
I'm not making this stuff up. So just go to CNN and look. But that was the latest thing, that there was a
Trust me, bro.
substantial increase in the amount of Democrats that find communism, Marxism, and socialism to be favorable. But this guy goes on to say, is a very, very real and even more dangerous. Okay. Why? If you believe Trump is just another Republican, then you are seriously deluding yourself. Well, no, I don't think he's just another Republican. He's the president of the United States. He was voted into office twice by 77.
That's not what he means. That's that's not what he means. And you know it. You're deflecting. What he means is that he's not a regular Republican who might have conservative values and might sometimes have ultra conservative values. He is someone who has a criminal record. He's a harasser, right? He's incompetent and he's not fit to be a president. At least some of the Republicans in the past were. In today's era, I don't think so. Today's generation of Republicans, including the vice president, they are not competent. That's what he's talking about. In the past, we had, competent Republicans and competent, Republican presidents. Like,
million people. And
that is
even
not
more
true.
so, he was voted into.
Again, that's not true. Hold on, where are my notes? We'll bring up our notes because he just keeps on bringing up bullshit. Hold on. Blah 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 blah. Where is it? Uh, where is it? Where are my notes? My notes are all jumbled up, dude. Seriously, I did not make them properly. What am I doing? Can you work? Thank you. Nope, not here. Where did it go? Um, so not here. Here. I have so many notes. Oh my god. Okay, not here either. Okay, yeah. Um, so here we are. Voted. Trump won the Electoral College once in 2016. Popular vote totals were 63 million in 2016 and 74 million in 2020. He did not win in 2020. 77 million is off. It's off. It was 74 million. And voted twice in office is also false. Vast majority claims are hand waving and like blah 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 blah. So yeah, again wrong. Popular vote was 63 million in 2016, 74 million in 2020. It wasn't 77 million. So you're wrong, Steve. So I don't know what are you doing. I don't get it. Like just sitting there and just like uh that's the Sanctuary City one. Where is it? Okay, so moving on.
to office the second time after Obama led a how many year long campaign of conspiracy against him. And again, this isn't
What?
mere.
Where did this come from? Obama? What the fuck? Again, like just making like claims without any, what do you say, proof? Nothing. Uh, there's no proof, right? Again, no citation, nothing. Just sitting there and just, he's saying that, Obama, led a year-long campaign of conspiracy against against Trump. He's not presenting any citations, any resources. Who's indulging in conspiracy theories now, Steve? Just sitting there and yapping away, like why are you so useless? You're useless. That's what you are, Steve. You're fucking useless. Like, come on. Oh, it's so stupid. Like, nani? Like again, this whole talk, this whole time, has been him, going, you know, trust me, bro. That's all it is. And I'm just like, should we even bother? Like, come on. Jessica from the live chat. God damn it, Obama not again. Oh, God. Yeah, Obama. Oof. God damn. Oh, God damn it. Okay.
Their opinion. This is actual fact. Uh, and so he's not just a normal Republican. I wouldn't say that, or just another Republican. But
How? Just because he's a president? There were many Republican presidents in the past, so what makes him unique? What makes him not just another Republican? Half a point for him for not saying Obama, I guess. Thanks, Kajun. So, yeah, Steve's or Obama derangement syndrome is showing. Yeah, it is.
I don't know where he's going with this, but let's find out. In case you didn't get the memo, I don't get memos any longer. Nobody sends me any memos. The Republican.
Yeah, because you're an isolated, sorry piece, of old fart who no one wants to talk to. That's why.
Party doesn't exist anymore. They've been hijacked by Trump. That makes no sense to me because the Republican Party, I'm not a huge fan of some of the stuff in the GOP. This is why I'm still an independent, but we'll only vote Republican.
Now you're independent. You said you were centrist, independent. Okay, you can be centrist and independent, I guess. Or but then you said you were moderate right. But you have not told us like how do you define these terms, so we don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Republican. I will never vote for a Democrat if my life depended on it. There's no way in hell a Democrat should ever be in office at this point because all the Democrats have done is favor to their far left constituents, and
so they shouldn't favor to their far left constituents. How? Tell me one thing that Democrats have done, right? That you think if they have catered to their far left constituents, in your opinion, what have they done? Give me one example and then explain it to us. Why is it wrong and why do you feel strongly about that? Can you give us one example? No? Moving on. Full of shit, as usual. Oh my god, it's giving me a headache
they're
now.
wanting to give away billions and trillions of dollars of taxpayer money for these slush funds because USAID got shut down. So that's the biggest slush fund they had.
Last I remembered, it was Trump administration who bailed out Argentina, if I'm not wrong. Not the Democratic Party, not the Democratic president. Just saying. It's just saying. You know? So I don't get it. Whoops. Wrong. What is USAID? I don't have it in my link. Hold on. Administering tens of billions of dollars in humanitarian aid development of. Oh, okay. So, is the principal U.S. organization responsible for administering tens of billions of dollars in humanitarian aid and development assistance overseas each year? So, Steve has problem with this also now. Oh my God. Oh my fucking God.
DNC is basically broke. If you go look, their funding is way low. They're investigating Act Blue, which is the donation system that they use for corruption. So I don't know what he means by the Republican Party has been hijacked by Trump. If that was the case, then everybody in the Republican Party would be lockstep with Trump, and they're not. There's a lot.
Again, he's made these claims, right? GOP isn't hijacked. Okay, you can argue about that, whatever. DNC is basically broke, and then Act Blue is under investigation for corruption, right? He makes 3 claims. He presents 0 links, right? And hijacked, as I said, is an opinion, so you can argue about that all you want. Basically broke, and Act Blue corruption. We need receipts for that. Again, I'll just go ahead and say citation needed. Give me a citation. Where's your fucking citation? Right? Now, according to my notes the House GOP or the Act Blue inquiry exists. There were subpoenas sent out in June 2025, but calling it proven corruption is premature. The investigation is still happening. But again, this is just Steve, exaggerating everything because he wants to demonize Democrats, independents, or liberals, or God knows who. Some unseen enemy, according to him. So yeah. Oh, hi, Smitty. How you doing? Hi, Smitty. So yeah.
A lot of people that are not lockstep with Trump. So that makes no sense. In its place, we now have the White National Christian Fascist Party. And there we go.
Oh
This
yeah,
is
I forgot to say. It was a bare assertion fallacy that he committed just now, which is like doesn't have evidence, and then also proved by accusation. The framing was proof by accusation. Oh, he accused them, therefore that's the proof.
where most people are going to go, why the hell do we even want to deal with somebody who says something stupid like that?
I don't know, Steve. You are dealing with him. I don't know.
Right? This is the type of seriously weaponized racist nonsense that is coming out of the Liberal Party, where MAGA.
Do you know which party does this person belong to? Have you spoken to and asked them? Maybe they are a Republican or a conservative who thinks like, people have, white nationalists have taken over the Republican Party. Right?
And Trump supporters and Republicans go, as soon as you say something stupid like that, we're not going to really bother to hear anything else you have to say. Because I'm not Christian. I'm not a fascist. I'm not a nationalist with a big N. I'm a nationalist with a small N. But I am white. I was born that way. I can't help it.
Oh.
So
maybe then you should talk to Wolf, who say your buddy Sean, who calls me, an alien-eyed bitch, or a bug-eyed bitch, and also like a doo-doo finger licker or something like that, and also tells me that I'm not brown enough to be to be black or to be a person of color. I don't know. Well, you can be pro-Israel while being good. I don't know. We can talk about that, discuss about that, but
what the hell does that got to do with the Republican Party? Yes, there's a lot of people in the Republican Party that happen to be Christian, that happen to be nationalists with a small N, but none of them are
yeah, why?
fascist. I have not seen a single solitary fascist in government. Not one. And the fact that they're white?
Again, trust me, bro. Argument from ignorance, because Steve thinks he hasn't seen any, so there are none. Just saying.
Just because they're white okay, so let me explain some basic logic here. The fallacy of composition. The fallacy of composition is that you have individual things that when put together may not be the same properties of the whole. So somebody could be a white, somebody could be a nationalist with a small n, and they could be Christian. That does not make them a white nationalist, nor does it make them inherently a fascist. Not by any stretch of imagination. So this right there is basically nonsense to me. Because if you think that the Republican Party has been hijacked by white national Christian fascists, you're a part of the problem. You are the problem. You're the one that is making all these radical hyperbolic allegations that stirs up racism, that stirs up hatred, that stirs up these insane far left liberals to think that, oh, we have a case of fascism in government. We need to stop that. And this is why people are fighting against ICE inappropriately. The amount of crimes against ICE have risen, 1,000% because of hyperbolic language like this, even though ICE has been around for decades. The Democrats funded ICE.
Just because the threats are up doesn't mean they are crimes or they are like, convicted criminals. Right? Whether you call someone fascist or not, yeah, we can debate about whether that label is fair or not, right? And I'll say, yeah, the threats against ICE have not been up just 1,000%. They have been out. They have been up actually 8,000%, according to DHS, Department of Homeland Security. Yeah. So yeah, but they are not all crimes. Again, he just went into this, whole, what do you say, this whole long monologue of, oh, why are people using hyperbolic language? There are no fascists in, Republican Party and blah, blah, blah. Again, who's a fascist according to you, Steve? Number one. Clippy wants to help you, says from the live chat. Saying that the current administration isn't fascist is like saying that water doesn't have water in it. Yeah, like, my first question is, what do you mean by, you know, what do you mean by, who is a fascist? Define fascist for me, please. Right? Uh, please. Just define that for me, and we will start from there. And also this whole thing about, the this whole thing about, the fallacy of composition. Someone assumes that what's true for one part of something must automatically be true for the whole. I don't think so anybody said that here. That's not what was said. I don't know where this whole thing came from. He just started like this whole fallacy
let
of
me explain.
composition thing out of nowhere. Right? Just because, and because this person said white national Christian fascist party. Again, this person didn't call Steve a white nationalist or a Christian fascist, but Steve took it on himself to take it personally. Everybody knows not all white people are fascists or Christian fascists or a part of like National Christian Fascist Party. What that person is saying is that the current Republican Party is consistent of white Christian fascist people. You can ask him for examples. That's fine. But then to go into this diatribe and say and just outright say no, there aren't any because I said so, and then take it personally, kind of tells me that you think you're part of that crowd, Steve. Just saying. Yeah, Ben Shapiro, Dennis Prager, and all that. Just saying. Like this, I don't get it. What like suddenly just brings out this whole thing of like, you know. Okay, give me 1 second. Uh, okay. Let's see. All right.
Explain some basic logic here. The fallacy of composition. The
Okay,
fallacy
go.
of composition as a
We're
whole.
gonna go.
So somebody could be a white. The Republican Party has been hijacked by white national Christian fascists. You're a part of the problem. You are the problem. You're the one that is making all these radical hyperbolic allegations.
You made the hyperbolic allegations that Democrats want Marxism, socialism, and all that as if they are bad things when you're not even like defining anything for us. And over here also, like, you can ask that person, like, what do you mean by what do you mean by someone who's a Christian fascist? Let's talk about that. But you just go into this diatribe, of like, oh, they're not me. For some reason, you took it personally. You actually defined the fallacy and then you committed it. That's what you did. You know, like, if I'm not wrong, that's what he did, didn't he? Or did he like, yeah, he committed it by misapplying it, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, he's insisting that because individual Republicans he knows are not fascist, the party cannot exhibit fascist tendencies. That's what he's basically saying, right? And he's insisting that because individual Republicans, he no, sorry, that's done. That's the inverse error. That's called fallacy of division. Assuming that what's false for some parts must be false for the whole. Again, that's what I said before. Just because he doesn't know and he thinks he hasn't come across any, fascists in the Republican Party or in the government. He thinks there are none. You can almost say it's argument from ignorance, if I might dare say, right? And I keep saying this, any political movement's ideology, it's measured by what? Policies, rhetoric, and institutional behavior. Not by each member's, like, what private virtues are. Yeah, Steve swallowed the right-wing talking point that that absolute most radical left content creators represent all Democrats. Yeah, he's committing the fallacy. That's exactly. You're right. You explained it better than I did, actually.
Stirs up racism, that stirs up hatred, that stirs up these insane far left liberals to think that, oh, we have a case of fascism in government. We need to stop that. And this is why people are fighting against ICE inappropriately. The amount of crimes against ICE have risen, what, 1,000% because of hyperbolic language like this, even though ICE has been around for decades.
Again, just because ICE was there in decades doesn't mean that ICE cannot be misused or is not being misused today, right? Doesn't mean their role has not changed, or like, institutions, their behavior can change overall, and um, the citizens of a country can say, we don't like this, we don't like the misuse, or we don't like where this is going, we need to make changes. And by protesting, by dissenting, that's where change comes from. If you don't allow people who are protesting to come and say why they're protesting and why they want to change, you will never make a change. You will end up sitting in an echo chamber like Steve McRae here. Far left liberals, LMAO. Yeah. So, yeah, again, he's cherry picking a lot. He's making category error also. Just because they are threats doesn't mean they are crimes, right? And then it's called, if I'm not wrong, in my notes it says post hoc ergo propter hoc, blaming rhetoric without causal proof. Oh, sorry, not casual, causal proof. My bad. You know, again, you are giving us an extraordinary percentage. You said 1,000%. I know where that number might have come from, but you don't present any citation for it. I know it came from the Department of Homeland Security. You know, I know that, but I don't. But you don't present it. You haven't presented anything. Like, come on. Here we go. Here we go. You're welcome. You're welcome. Is that 1,000%? It's 1,000%. Again, I am doing your job for you, Steve. I'm going out there and I'm correcting the. You know why? Because I went out and looked for the stats that you threw out there, and I couldn't find anything. But then I found this. Look, look, Steve, look. Oh my God, look, guys, look. There we go. Enjoy. So yeah, again, the behavior of institutions, how they are applied or how they're used, they can change over time. Your best example is your what do you say? Your justices, your Supreme Court judges. Like they change the whole composition of the country changes. How? Roe v. versus Wade, gone. Brought in by the same institute, the judicial body of America, right? And now it's gone. Applications change over time, and people have a right to, protest against them. And if there's brutality, people have the right to protest against brutality also. Just saying.
Democrats funded ICE since 2003.
Yeah, okay, and
They only stopped being for ICE from 2017 to 2000.
yeah, maybe because they thought they said that, maybe they thought that Trump was misusing ICE. You know, maybe it's possible, right? Nah, 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 nah. Again, this is genetic fallacy, right? If it was good in the past, it should be good now. Steve McRae was honest in the past, he will be honest now. No, Steve McRae used to, do some research in the past. He's not lazy now. That's not how it works, Steve. Please correct me if I'm wrong. It's almost like genetic fallacy, if I'm not wrong. Or actually, argument from authority also. With Steve, I don't know about ICE though. ICE was unnecessary at best before Trump. Yeah, it had a side role. Yeah, it had a minor role, but now it's just been thrust into limelight and just pushed at the forefront and be used as an instrument for political propaganda by the Republicans or the Republican government in particular.
2020, which Trump was in office. After that, they were pro-ICE again until 2025, and Trump became president.
What's the point?
But Obama, he deported 3 million illegals.
And
how did he do this? Through ICE. I mean,
okay, and again, this is like, he's being dishonest and he's misleading. The issue is not that an institution is existing. The issue is about its role. Whether it's, discharging its role as it should. That's what the point is. Maybe Democrats think that the ICE is not discharging its roles as it is supposed to. Yeah, you can argue about that. But this point of like, oh, Obama, deported 3 million illegals, blah, blah, blah. Where did that, number come from? We don't know. I know where it came from, but we don't know where Steve got it from. Right? This is oversimplification of party positions. That's what this is. Like, this is oversimplifying everything. Because he's lazy. That's why. Moving on.
I mean, it's bizarre.
Yeah, and
that people like this exist to think that the Republican Party is, quote, white nationalist Christian fascist party. You cannot take people like that seriously.
You have not explained to me at all why you can't take people like these seriously. You're giving us like complex fallacy, right? The fallacy of complex composition. Then you misapplied it, right? And then you try to oversimplify what the actual issue with the ICE is. And now here you are just saying, yeah, I dismiss this person's opinion because, yeah. Hi, my unfinished song. Welcome.
You can't. So what do? Well, I've learned you just have to either ignore them or mock them. I do a mixture because I'm never going to have a civil conversation with somebody who starts off telling me that, we have a hijacked Republican Party of white national Christian fascists.
Can you ask him why he thinks like that? Look at that smug, smile on his face, as if he's got a gotcha, All he's doing is he's running away from debate. He's running away from an honest conversation. That's all he's doing. Oh, you want to see a side chat? We can arrange that. That's not a problem. There we go.
No, it's never going to happen. And
There's
you can see what I wrote back. I'm like,
bottom
simple, bro. That's insane. Only very stupid people believe that. Because I think you have to be extremely stupid to believe that the United States of America, one of the most freed countries in the entire.
Oh, oh my God. America and not America. Oh my God. Seriously? Really? One of the most free.
Actually, probably the most free country in the entire world.
Hold on, hold on, hold on. No, 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 no. We need to. um, newsroom
Which?
does. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Okay. Newsroom does America have freedom? Not this one. This one. This one. Listen to this.
Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Jenny. I'm a sophomore, and this is for all three of you. Can you say in one sentence or less what... you know what I mean. Can you say why America is the greatest country in the world?
Diversity and opportunity.
Lewis?
Freedom and freedom. So let's keep it that way.
This is Steve McRae. Freedom and freedom.
Will?
The New York Jets.
No, I'm going to hold you to an answer on that. What makes America the greatest country in the world?
Well, Lewis and Sharon said it. Diversity and opportunity and freedom and freedom.
I love this. I love this one.
I'm not letting you go back to the airport without answering the question.
Well, our Constitution is a masterpiece. James Madison was a genius. The Declaration of Independence is, for me, the single greatest piece of American writing. You don't look satisfied.
One's a set of laws and the other's a declaration of war. I want a human moment from you.
Oh, he's gonna give a human moment.
What about the people? Why is America
Not the greatest country in the world, Professor. That's my answer.
Steve, listen.
You're saying...
Yes.
Let's talk about...
Fine. Sharon, the NEA is a loser. Yeah, it accounts for a penny out of her paycheck, but he gets to hit you with it anytime he wants. It doesn't cost money. It costs votes. It costs airtime and column inches. You know why people don't like liberals? Because they lose. If liberals are so fucking smart, how come they lose so goddamn always? Hey. And with a straight face, you're going to tell students that America is so star-spangled awesome that we're the only ones in
This is for you, Steve. Listen carefully.
the world who have freedom? Canada has freedom. Japan has freedom. The UK, France, Italy, Germany, Spain,
Australia, Belgium has freedom. So 207 sovereign states in the world, like 180 of them have freedom.
All right.
And yeah, you, sorority girl.
Just in case you accidentally wander into a voting booth one day,
There's some things you should know, and one of them is there is absolutely no evidence to support the statement that we're the greatest country in the world. We're 7th in literacy, 27th in math,
I'm sure it's come down.
22nd in science, 49th in life expectancy, 178th
This was a decade ago. More than a decade ago.
in infant
Maybe that's why Steve is not interested in what was said 12 years ago.
mortality, 3rd in median household income, number 4 in labor force, and number 4 in exports. We lead the world in only 3 categories: number of incarcerated citizens per capita, number of adults who believe angels are real, and defense spending, where we spend more than the next 26 countries combined, 25 of whom are allies. Now, none of this is the fault of a 20-year-old college student, but you nonetheless are, without a doubt, a member of the worst generation ever. So when you ask what makes us the greatest country in the world, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Yosemite?
So this is the thing, right? This is a reality check like people like Steve need to have. America is not the only country in the world that has freedom. Or most freedom. No. It doesn't. He wanted a human moment.
sure used to be.
Used to be.
We stood up for what was right. We We fought for moral reasons. We passed laws, struck down laws for moral reasons. We waged wars on poverty, not poor people. We sacrificed. We
That was a decade ago, Smitty.
cared about our neighbors. We put our money where our mouths were, and we never beat our chest. We built great big things, made ungodly technological advances, explored the universe, cured diseases, and we cultivated the world's greatest
Yeah, I
art.
wonder what Steve has to say about the current CDC chairperson, who was saying until recently that Tylenol caused autism in newborns.
And the world's greatest economy. We reached for the stars, acted like men. We aspired to intelligence. We didn't belittle it. It didn't make us feel inferior.
This is the line that stays with me, that we admired intelligence. We didn't belittle intelligence, but that's what America is becoming today. They belittle facts, they belittle science, they belittle intelligence.
We didn't identify ourselves by who we voted for in the last election, and we didn't scare so easy. We were able to be all these things and do all these things because we were informed by great men who were revered. First step in solving any problem is recognizing there is one. America is not the greatest country in the world anymore. Enough?
Enough? Oh god. Smitty, if you want to know, there's only one person right now in the live chat, if I'm not wrong. It's called "Have you ever said thank you once?" I don't know what they're saying because for some reason I can't. Hold on, let me just see.
Now people can argue.
Hold on. Okay, let's see.
Well, Sweden and Denmark or other Netherlands, sure, they have a lot of freedoms. I will grant that. But with
there's only one person in this live chat since he started, and it's 18 minutes now. This guy came in 1848. This is the guy who said, "Steve, can you show the CNN poll, please? I'm unfamiliar with it." And he's like, "I don't know. I have no."
freedom that we have the most here is the freedom of speech, the ability to
No, there are other countries also that have freedom of speech. Okay, moving on.
Criticize our government, free of government.
That's what First Amendment right is. Didn't you fight for that as a veteran who's now on social benefits? Just asking.
Recourse, right? The government is not allowed to stifle your free speech when you criticize them. So you can criticize.
Yeah, that's why there are people out there who are spreading misinformation, including Steve. God dang it, this guy is unfucking believable.
Trump all you want. And so if they were fascist, they would be stifling this kind of speech.
No, that's not how fascism works. Fascism just doesn't drop dead in the middle and just cut off everything just like that. It's a gradual increase of restrictions. It's like a frog in the warm water, which is boiled slowly until it thinks it's fine, until it doesn't realize it's burnt and boiled. That's what it is. That's the analogy I'm trying to use. That's how fascism sneaks in. Do you think Hitler just dropped on everyone in one day? No. He came via legit elections. That's how he came in. God dang it. This guy's so simple now. Such a simpleton. Oh my god.
But Trump isn't stifling anyone's free speech.
He isn't? He isn't using his Department of Justice to go after people who criticize him? Or open investigations, against people who criticize him? He's not doing that? Really? Anyone from the press who asks him any questions and he doesn't like them, they're banned. So much so that now White House has decided that they're just going to give like a printed press briefing. That's all. That's all they're going to give. And only selected like pre-agreed questions can be asked. That's it. That's stifling freedom of speech. What are you talking about, Steve? Ay, ay, ay. This guy's so stupid, seriously. Why did I ever think that this guy had an ounce of brain cell in him?
If he was a king, we wouldn't even have the no king protest, which are self-refuting because, again, if he was a dictator, he wouldn't even allow them to happen.
Again, that's not how it happened. That's not the point. The point is that Trump thinks that anyone in the administration, in his administration, or anyone around him owes him blind loyalty, and therefore he considers himself someone as close to a king. And people are like, no, you're not a king. That's what it is. That's the concept. You're misrepresenting everything right now, and it's so stupid. Oh my God. Protests existing in one place, right? It doesn't, decide or settle whether, conduct elsewhere is authoritarian or not. Free speech protects you from the government, not criticism or counter protest.
They don't even know what the hell they're
And again, okay,
protesting. I've watched Caitlin Bennett from Liberty Hangout. Love her stuff. She'll ask liberals, what is it you're protesting? I still can't get a solid answer. I still don't know what the hell they were protesting. I may never know what.
Please show us. You said Caitlin Bennett was asking, and they were, that you didn't get an answer. You don't know what the hell they were. Again, argument for ignorance. He didn't go and check it out, right? He just said, "Oh, I don't know what the hell they were protesting." He didn't tell us what they exactly said, or explain to us what they exactly said. He didn't cite any sources again, and then he's just dismissing it. Argument from ignorance. Trump has said specifically out loud that he wants to criminalize protest. There we go. Yeah, like fascism doesn't just drop in. It creeps in slowly. It's desensitization. That's how Nazism creeped in. Sorry, Germany. Yeah, Smitty from the live chat, exactly. I refuse. That is what Steve is like. I refuse to listen to people who disagree with me, so I may never know what they believe. And then I will cook up stories and cook up strawmans about what they believe, and then beat them down. That's what Steve is. It's so stupid, man. It's so stupid.
What they were protesting, because none of them had any coherent arguments. There was a lot of again, personal attacks against Trump and
like what? Please show us. Give me one quote.
And incorrect understandings of things, and maybe one or two of them had a small minor point here and there.
Show us something. Again, hyperbolic, vague language, nothing specific, right? Just sitting there and just making shit up. We don't know. He's demonizing the other side. He's demonizing the side he's pretending that he is criticizing. Cooking up ad hominems against them while accusing them of the same. Is that what you're saying, Steve? The logic. I know I'm almost indulging in ad populum fallacy, but I'm like, if you don't know what they believe, if you haven't asked, if you haven't presented, you don't even bring up a point that they make to then criticize it, then what's the point? Yeah, Steve does not expect a lot from the president, does he? Like, no standards for presidential behavior, according to Steve. The president can do anything. If you think that the president can do anything, that's being a demagogue. That's supporting demagoguery. Just saying.
Job. I'm sorry, but politically speaking, Trump has been doing absolutely an amazing job as president.
Like what?
Just because those who didn't vote for him don't like it.
Please tell us one thing that he has done amazingly. Tariffs? The grocery prices going up? Is that what it is? Like, huh?
doesn't mean that he's not doing a good job. It just means that the people that lost the election, the people that voted for Biden or Kamala or Hillary or whatever, they're not getting their way.
Again, nothing to cite for, no example to cite. Again, just because people don't like Trump doesn't mean they don't have valid criticism for him. It's just like saying because someone has opposition to them or people don't like them, they're doing something right. That's not how that works.
And they cannot handle that. They cannot handle that the vast majority of people did not want those views. They don't want communism. They don't want.
Where? Who said they did? I thought you said that Democrats wanted communism. Huh? Are you saying the rest of the Democrats don't? Again, we don't know what the fuck he's talking about, where he's getting these, this like, oh, majority of them don't want this, don't want them. The majority figure, we don't know what that figure is.
Want Marxism. They don't want socialism. They don't want open borders. They don't want taxpayers paying for healthcare costs for illegals. They don't want.
That's not what happens. You also know that. You should know better than that. I know better than that about your country, Steve. The idea is that no one will be questioned about their citizenship or their legal status when they end up in emergency room. They will not be denied emergency care. That's what it is. And people still rack up bills when they end up in emergency wards. What are you fucking talking about?
Men and women's sports. They don't want kids being castrated and mutilated and having gender.
Here we go again. Who's using emotional language now? Steve, who's being emotional now? Who's trying to incite emotional reaction from their audience now? They don't want children to be castrated and mutilated.
Surgeries. They don't want any of that stuff. The vast majority do not. It's like 90-10, 80-20 issues here.
Please show us that. Show us where you're getting this number from, 90-10 and 80-20.
So what is it that...
Nothing. He has nothing. He is just sitting there like a fucking, I don't know, a guy who's mad at people. I think so what's happened here is he's mad at the NSS community that they didn't follow him after like the breakup with Chesh, and actually the NSS community saw through him and his ridiculous behavior and called him out on it, and he's mad at them. So he's like, I'm going to retaliate against the NSS community by being a fucking piece of shit. And conspiracy, propaganda, or whatever piece of shit. That's what this whole thing feels like. And all he's doing is he's just regurgitating the points that these fucking people who want to take advantage of the current political climate in this country speak, so that they can get the clicks and views. But Steve is too late for that. People are already pulling out of that rhetoric, so he's always late. He doesn't know what to do.
That they're actually politically protesting, because I have yet to figure it out. Brandon, hey Brandon, good to see you. Brandon says, what about Trump sending the National Guard into American cities for law enforcement? Isn't that unconstitutional? Absolutely not unconstitutional. In fact,
really?
It is absolutely required by the Constitution under Article 2, Section 3. President Trump has a duty and an obligation to protect American citizens. If cities are not doing it, he has to go in and do that. The National Guard has been called out.
Show us where it says that in the Constitution, please. I'll debunk all this in a minute, but...
Many times over hundreds of years by the president. Why is it that, that Lyndon B. Johnson called out the National Guard? Why is it that many presidents have called out the National Guard?
Not for the same reasons. You have to tell us what exact reasons they were. There's a reason you're not giving them to us. Because you want to conflate with that Trump has the same reasons, alleged reasons as them. Again, just because they were called in for the right reasons last time doesn't mean that they are being called in for the right reasons this time. Again, institutions in government can be misused. I like that pause face. Steve's pause face. That's cool.
to quell uprisings and insurrections, and when the mayors or the governors cannot do their jobs effectively.
Where does it say that? Please. Please. Again, this is the fallacy of oversimplification. Sable Eagle from the live chat. Yeah, he said Democrat voters want communism. Then he said people don't want communism. He's not he's not contradicting himself. He's revealing who he thinks counts as people. Yeah, I see. I see. Yeah, yeah. That's a good observation. Yeah, this is an early stream. I usually do that when Steve puts out garbage, I have to throw it away for him.
Has a moral and legal responsibility.
Please show us where it says that.
To do that. So where in the Constitution does that make it illegal?
First, show where it shows that where you're saying it's illegal. Smitty from the live chat, using the National Guard as a private police force to intimidate people is not the same as enforcing school integration. No, it's not. Very well said.
Brandon says, as far as I know, the military isn't supposed to operate on soil. There's no such. No, the Posse Comitatus Act doesn't say that. The Posse Comitatus Act, or Comitatus Act, states that the president cannot use the military as police against American citizens unless there is a insurrection act invoked, unless there's a national emergency. You know, if he's just.
No, unless it's authorized by a statute or the Constitution, you fucking baka. That's what it means. God damn it, this guy is so stupid. He's so fucking stupid. He doesn't even know his own constitution. Seriously. Like, nunny. Like, seriously? What is even happening? So, I'm reading the source that I have here, right? Article 2.3, the Take Care Clause, requires the President to enforce the laws. It doesn't grant an open-ended power to deploy troops domestically. The Posse Comitatus Act still restricts use of federal forces for law enforcement unless Congress authorizes it. The Guard's legality depends on the status. Under the Title 32, that is state control, it can support police. Under the Title 10, federalized, it cannot without invoking the Insurrection Act. That's why when the January 6th insurrection happened, the Democrats were asking for the deployment of the National Guard. But Republicans were avoiding that because then that whole protest would have been labeled as insurrection under the Insurrection Act. Like, how stupid are you, Steve? How fucking stupid are you? The whole thing with Steve is he oversimplifies everything. He talks in hyperbolics, he talks in vague terms, he doesn't provide any citations, and he oversimplifies everything. Why? So that he can support Trump or any decision that Trump makes. But when it comes to the other presidents, he just, in that sense also, he oversimplifies things so that he can demonize them, or he can, say if their decision was right, then Trump's decision was also right. That's again another oversimplification. No, I think so. There's a large majority required for that, if I'm not wrong. Titan Uranus, right? Like, a non-American is sitting here and debunking you, Steve.
Surprised if he decides to put martial law in place, if he goes with the actual Insurrection Act, then he can use the police for that. But that's not what National Guard are doing. The National Guard are not acting as police. They're acting as guards against federal facilities. So the police.
against...
in the cities can go out and fight crime rather than having to fight these protesters. And
Again, as I said, that at state level under Title 32, it can support police, but it has to be under state control. It cannot be under presidential control. Hold on, let me just see if I can find my sources for this, because this is actually ridiculous. Not this. Here we go. Alright, let's see. Boop. 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 Oh, look, what do I have? The Posse Comitatus Act and related matters, the use of military to execute civilian law. The Constitution permits Congress to authorize the use of militia to execute the laws of union, suppress insurrections, and repel invasions. Invasions come from foreign entities, not from citizens. Do I need to say anything further? And peaceful protest is not invasion or insurrection. And it guarantees the state protection against invasion or usurpation of the republican form of government. So what Steve is saying that if the governor is not doing their job, then Trump can send them in. But this says exactly the opposite. It says the state's protection against invasion or usurpation of their republican form of government. And upon the request of the state legislature against domestic violence. These constitutional provisions are reflected in the Insurrections Act, which have been invoked numerous times both before and after the passage of the Posse Comitatus Act, 18 U.S.C. Section 1385, 1878. Congress has also enacted a number of statutes that authorize the use of land and naval forces to execute their objective. The Posse Comitatus Act outlaws the willful use of any part of the Army or Air Force to execute the law unless expressly authorized by the Constitution or an act of Congress. History supplies the grist for an argument that the Constitution prohibits military involvement in civilian affairs, subject to only limited alterations by Congress or the President, but the courts do not appear to have ever accepted the argument unless violation of more explicit constitutional command could also be shown. So, the express statutory exceptions include the legislation that allows the president to use military forces to suppress the insurrection or to enforce federal authority. By protecting federal, whatever the excuse that Steve is using, that he wants to protect the federal institutions or the buildings or the properties, that's not federal, enforcing of federal authority. That's the state's job to do that. If they have any federal institutions in their jurisdiction, it's their job to protect it. That's not the job of the National Guard. Unless you want to, invoke the Insurrection Act, but I don't think so. The Congress will let you do that. So Steve is just grasping at straws and cherry picking and oversimplifying things. Like, it's all here, guys. I don't know what else to say. I wonder if inflatable costumes are a thing. Right? I'm the one who's sitting. He doesn't show anything on the screen, right? Someone said, can you show me the CNN poll? He doesn't show that. Like, he doesn't even show that, interviews that happened with the No King protests, right? He mentions them, but he shows nothing. Then he talks about Trump's bankruptcies, but he doesn't bring up any sources. And again, the Posse Comitatus Act doesn't bring up any sources. I bring them up, and I'm non-American.
protect federal property from the protesters. So the National Guard comes in and says, hey, look, we'll stand here and we'll protect the ICE facilities.
That's not the job of the National Guard. That's not the job of the National Guard. Their job is not to, unless the Congress passes it, that's not their job. And most probably you have to go for the Insurrection Act if you have to, justify that. And that has to go through the Congress. I'm just.
Protect the infrastructure. You as a local law enforcement go out and fight crime like you're supposed to. Perfectly legal to do that.
No, part of fighting crime is also protecting the federal property in the state. That's what also is part of the, you are overstepping the boundaries. There's always been this, friction between the federal and the local law enforcement, where FBI and the local law enforcement, like, where do they overlap with their duties, or where do they create friction amongst each other with duties? And now you're bringing in the National Guard with it. What the fuck is Steve is just, oversimplifying everything. That's all I'll say, and we'll just
Again,
move on.
he's required to do that under
No, he's not required to do that.
Article 2,
He can do that.
Section 3, I believe, is of the U.S. Constitution. What's happening is you have these governors, Pritzker and LA's mayor, and San Francisco, Newsom, all of them, they have these sanctuary cities. And they say, no. We don't want you to come in and protect our citizens.
That's not what you were saying. You said they are going to protect the federal property. Now you're saying protect civilians? What the fuck?
We don't want you to protect our federal buildings. And they can't do that. They cannot second guess the president when it comes to that.
Why cannot? Why can they not question the president? That's fascism again. That's demagoguery again. Again, my pause game is on point.
And SCOTUS has determined the president has the final say on this.
Where? Please show us. Show us the ruling where it says that SCOTUS has said that the president has the final say on this. Please, go on. Again, here we go. Citation needed. Citation needed. Can you get a citation? No? Okay, moving on.
The Supreme Court has determined the president has the final say on this. They don't get to come in and say, look, we don't think this meets any requirements to pull in the National Guard. That's not their decision. The decision is given to the President of the United States by the people, because the people voted him in to make.
No, that's not. It goes through the Congress, you fucking baka.
That decision. No court can intervene on that. No court can supersede that.
Yeah, right, Smitty?
That's his decision. He has to
No, that's not how it works.
do it lawfully, right? But he absolutely can call the National Guard.
It has to go through the Congress. That's what he leaves it out. Like, seriously? Oh God, come on, don't do this to me now. Sorry. Okay.
Brandon says, yeah, so the military isn't made to make arrests unless they're.
Seb illegal from the live chat. So he is the king, and there is no status. There's no states' rights. And Steve?
Are assaulted, unless they are impeded. If you assault.
So what are they there for? To kill people, to injure people. What is the National Guard doing protecting from if they cannot arrest people or assault people? Okay, hold on. Let me just listen to that.
Yeah,
again.
so the military isn't made to make arrests unless they're assaulted, unless they are impeded. If you assault a National Guard, they can make an arrest.
But you are saying that they want to protect the federal property. There won't be any assault of federal guard if they're not present there. I think so. You're creating the problem there, aren't you? Just saying.
You assault a federal building, the National Guard can make arrest.
When did we switch from Steve to Alex? So,
but a National Guard can't see a citizen, do something like a speeding violation and make an arrest. That's not their job.
That's not what Brandon is asking. I'm just saying.
Act as a police, right? But they can protect themselves, and they can protect federal buildings. So,
okay, I'm just gonna go ahead because
your claim, and again, I'm not showing the live live chat, so just have to believe me that Brandon is in there.
Oh yeah, we just have to believe what Steve says. Trust me, bro.
For years. What makes it unconstitutional? And by the way, I do have the ability to do a collab camera now. I haven't tried it.
Yeah, conveniently.
But if you want to come in, Brandon, I'll send the collab link to you and we can try to see if it works.
Brandon has has the, patience of a saint. Seriously. Good on you, dude. Seriously.
Because
So, intrigue feline from the live chat, not to mention, for example, ICE has already done things like pulling protesters into certain areas to arrest them and then claim impeding. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. He's just sending in, like, National Guard, like, to create problems. Like, he overused ICE to create problems and then claim post hoc that there was impeding. Like, this is not someone who's trying to de-escalate the situation. Trump is trying to escalate the situation.
I haven't tried it. But if you want to let me.
That's what it is. He's being so condescending to Brandon at this point. I want to smack Steve in the face.
No, I have a link for it, and you. So he says, yeah, that's what I mean. Okay, so we agree it's constitutional. We agree that the president can call the National Guard, just like many other presidents have done before. We agree that the National Guard can make arrests if they're assaulted or if they witness people assaulting federal property.
No. Impeding is not assaulting federal property. Impeding is against a person, if I'm not wrong. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Now he's changed it. Did you see that? Oh my god. He's such a fucking asshole. Now guys, like, if you assault National Guard, or you know, damage or people assaulting federal property. What? Intrigue feline, tell me if I'm wrong. Please help me out here. Because I can't believe this guy just, like, did that fucking jump through the hoop. Yeah, cops also do that all the time. God. Absolutely ridiculous. I'm just reheating my tea, guys. Coming back. Oh dear. I overheated my tea. Well, I don't care. It never is warm enough, but it's scalding hot. Okay.
So what is the protest? What's the problem here? There's no problem because Trump and the National Guard are doing exactly what they're supposed to do.
Okay, I've already explained it. We're moving on.
No, now, it's funny because there are arguments to be had about certain things, which I don't see people making those arguments, but...
Like what? Now he's got to pretend that he knows the other side. Right? Before he said, I don't know. He pretends he knows the other side, but he will not bring up those arguments. He did that previously also with the No King protesters also. Oh, they were asked, but they couldn't come up with anything. They had a minor point. So he pretends he knows, again, creates a straw man, and then brings it down.
If I was on the other side, I could make much better arguments than they...
Then why aren't you? Because you're full of shit, that's why. God.
Can. But they don't even know what they're even arguing. They have no idea what they're even protesting.
Please show us so that we can believe you. Again, I'll just keep on saying this. Citation needed.
Why would you protest crime going down in a city?
That's not what it is. No, that's not necessarily what will happen if National Guard comes in. That's not a guarantee. Again, that's not a fucking guarantee.
What in the hell is wrong with the liberal brain that says, hey, look, we have the President of the United States. He wants to come in. He wants to help with crime. He wants to lower murder rates.
I'm going to repeat all the Fox talking points without showing anything for citation and then getting everything wrong.
He wants to lower homicides. He wants to lower rape crimes. He wants to make the cities beautiful. And
he wants to make city beautiful. We saw what the National Guard were doing. They were picking up junk everywhere. Yeah, they're definitely making the cities beautiful and safe, guys. Oh my god. So stupid. Why is he so stupid? Why is Steve so stupid? He's such a stupid guy. Why? Why? Where's my other cup? Where did that go? Oh, okay. Yeah, God, this guy is unfucking believable. It's becoming so tiresome now. Like, he's going through the same fucking rhetoric again and again. I'm just like, seriously, dude. Where's my cardamom? It's getting boring. It's like, give me something new, Steve. Come on. Give me something. I'm just getting bored. I'm getting bored. This is boring.
Ability for people to walk out in the middle of the night and not have to worry about getting stabbed, shot, mugged, raped, carjacked. Why would any
Who's using, what do you say, emotional language now? Who's fear-mongering? This guy.
anybody in the right mind be against that? Because I have yet to have anybody answer that question.
Especially from the live chat, you can get crime down to 0% by turning the entire country into a prison. Yeah.
Not a single solitary person has answered that question. So when this video is rendered and it's ready to be commented upon, which doesn't usually take very long, I'll happily address your comments in the comment section. If you can tell me what is wrong with the President of the United States under his Article 2 powers of the United States Constitution to come in and clean up crime when the local government fails to do so. And not just fails to do so, they contribute to the crime. They obstruct the police. They order the police not to work with federal law enforcement agencies. Why? Why would you not want police to work with the federal law enforcement agency to make sure that these criminals are taken off the streets and they're tried for their crimes and they're deported if they're not supposed to be here? Why would you not want this? What is it about Newsom and Pritzker and Bass?
It's to keep everything according to the Constitution of the United States. The National Guard should be the last resort, like when there's like fucking violence happening on the streets. That's not what's happening. That's what the problem is. Trump is fear-mongering, you're adding to that fear-mongering, and then you're justifying his actions. So someone said from the live chat, Swevnil said he's using the heckler's veto. I actually quickly searched it when you said it, and it says a heckler's veto occurs when the reaction of an audience, their outrage, offense, or potential for disruption is used to silence a speaker or idea. In constitutional law, it's when the government restricts speech to prevent a hostile audience reaction, for example, canceling a protest for safety. In rhetoric, it's when a speaker blames emotional reactions for the existence of the message itself, effectively claiming that because someone's words provoke outrage, those words are illegitimate, sorry. And Steve does that. He equates discomfort with falsehood. He reverses responsibility, right? He uses the heckler's veto to flip moral blame, right? The critic becomes the cause of others' anger rather than the reaction revealing a sore truth. And then he converts emotional reaction into censorship for justification. So thanks for that.
Or Bass. And all these other mayors and governors that do not want Trump in their cities. What do they all have in common? They're all sanctuary cities. They're all crime-ridden. They all have high homicide rates, carjacking rates. That's what...
Please show us. Show us the stats. Compare us the stats. You're just saying that and we're supposed to believe you. Again, I'll just say this. Steve, citation needed. With you, trust me, bro, doesn't work anymore. We cannot trust you anymore. Hey Steve, what about the priest that was praying and that ICE member shot him in the face? Or what about them dragging protesters who are only holding signs with zero violence or provocation? Man, they sprayed the frog, man. They pepper sprayed the frog. Seriously? What the fuck? Yeah, he's fucking delusional. He's sitting in an echo chamber. He's sitting inside the house. He's not going out there, talking to people. That's not what he's doing. He expects people to come to him. And when people come to him, we see this here. People come to him and they try to talk to him. He just, dismisses them. Yeah, Smitty from the live chat. Can we compare the crime rates in blue cities to those in red cities? That's up to him. He's making the claim. He needs to provide this proof. If I question it, he's going to say, disprove me, and he knows that's not how it works. Yeah, what about reporters who are neither combatants nor illegal? Like, come on, dude.
There's corruption in those cities. That is why they don't want Trump coming in, because they don't want that corruption to stop, because that's their power base. How many centuries Democrats have been saying we are the party of the
centuries? Okay.
People. We'll fix the minority problem and give them everything they want. And
that's what Republicans have also been saying, that they will fix everything. They will drain the swamp. That's what Republicans have also been saying.
And we will we'll raise up the minorities and be there for them and support them. That was all BS. It wasn't the Democrats that did any of that. It was the Republicans. Fun fact, the KKK started by Democrats. Jim Crow laws, Democrats. Democrats have done nothing to help minorities. DEI does not help minorities.
Oh, really? What do you think about me, Steve? Do you think I would have gotten a chance if DEI didn't exist? I wouldn't have gotten a chance. I would have never been considered for a job in Australia or in New Zealand. Just saying. Forget America. DEI is part of every country's, employment. Just saying. And it's important. Anyway, bye. Bye, Intrigue. Take care. I'm also gonna, finish around 35-minute mark and then do the rest again next week, because I've decided, doing 4-hour streams is not that good. So, yeah. We'll cover another 10 minutes or so, and then we will do the rest next week. Because then I have to do Dumb Fact Friday also tomorrow, so... yeah. And I have dishes to wash.
What it does is takes away merit-based and substitutes it with race-based, which is completely...
That's not what DEI is. Again, that's a misrepresentation and actually, frankly, misleading, Steve. That's not how it works. Merit always comes first. The DEI is give everyone a fair chance. That's what it is. To say that the merit is dismissed because race comes in, that's completely dishonest. And frankly, this tells me that you cannot afford to now say, trust me, bro. You have to come up with citations or we cannot take you seriously. We cannot take you seriously. No, that you're right, Uranus. That is not what DEI or CRD either one are. He actually did the meme bullshitting thing. Yeah, he did that. And pretending America is a meritocracy is ridiculous. Yeah. It's a... Appreciate all. Huh? What? Facepalm, come on, Shane. What are you thinking? What the fuck? Yes, I don't know what he's thinking.
And utterly racist. So I would love for somebody to answer.
Exactly. Sweetie is saying if merit was paramount, then there would be no need for DEI. That's also correct.
Those questions. I can never get a liberal to come on to discuss them. So
I wonder why. Because if they do give a opposite opinion or try to explain their position. You just dismiss them and saying oh, they're loony. They're in the loony land. Yeah, DEI specifically to address a lack of merit-based hiring.
I've tried, but as far as
I have not seen you sit down and talk with any liberal person. You just started accusing this person of Trump derangement syndrome. Not this person, but you started saying that Trump derangement syndrome is very, very real. And you expect people to take you seriously.
position is, I'm like, yeah, bring in the National Guard. Yeah. Hi, Paul. How are you today? Paul McBay. Yeah, he just waved hi or said hello in the live chat. I'm gonna take it to my Facebook page now because I want to talk about this a little bit while the chat.
So I want to say a few things, like, right, this whole thing around. Okay, hold on. Let's just.
Up. There's a 2-minute delay.
Finish that.
But I thought this was interesting too. So this is Eric Saldwell, and this guy is a complete putz. I don't know how anybody can listen to him and not think to themselves that this guy is not corrupt. He's either corrupt.
Again, throwing pejoratives. Not talking about what he's talking about, what actually he said. Just ad hominems, pejoratives, poisoning the well from the start. Let's go.
Corrupt or just stupid or both. He was known, just like Adam Schiff was known, for leaking classified information.
Hey, Steve, here's someone here who's saying, Gillian Wren, if I thought he would listen, I would absolutely explain to him everything that's wrong with what he's saying. Here's someone who's willing to talk to you.
Many documents are out there that have named Eric as a known leakster.
Again, what the fuck you're talking about? Can you give citations, please? Citation needed?
Now, I don't think he will or will not get indicted on anything. However, Adam Schiff should absolutely be indicted for leaking classified information.
Citation needed, please.
Comey should be indicted for leaking classified information. And John Bolton should be, and probably...
So, before we move on, I'll just say one thing, right? So, he said this thing of like, oh, Democrats created KKK and Jim Crow and Republicans like fixed civil rights, right? So, this is like just centuries old, like fucking old false rhetoric, right? Yeah, in mid-century, 19th century, Democrats in South championed Jim Crow, but by mid-20th century, the parties realigned. Segregationists fled the Democrats after 1964 Civil Rights Act, while the black voters and liberal reformers migrated to them. The Southern strategy, sorry, I can't even talk now. This is so ridiculous. The Southern strategy flipped the axis, claiming Republicans fixed civil rights without acknowledging that shift is historical cherry picking. It's nostalgia dressed as scholarship. So Steve is all about nostalgia. That's what it is. X needs to be indicted soon.
And absolutely will be indicted for leaking classified information. Now, I do have to correct something here. Even have you ever said that once? Have you ever said thank you once? Who's in my live chat? I do owe you a small apology only because I mistyped something. I did write in one of my comments that John Bolton was indicted. I changed it. I meant to say he was being indicted.
How is someone being indicted? You're either indicted or you're not indicted. What the fuck?
He hasn't been indicted yet, but they have given the DOJ all the
he's a basic boo-boomer,
information to indict him, and he absolutely will be indicted.
Yeah, so there's information to indict him, or then he will absolutely will be indicted. So again, Steve got it wrong. He just made one correction, right? But we have seen so far in 30 minutes he has provided no citations, nothing, and I think so that's why he doesn't provide any citations anymore, so that he can backtrack if he's wrong.
Brennan. I'm sorry. Bolton has already been indicted. Brennan has not been indicted yet, but I do believe very strongly that Brennan is about to be indicted.
Yeah, so this is not Trump using his Department of Justice to go after his, critics or dissenters.
So I did make a small error on one of my comments.
Oh, that's a small error. Yeah.
One of my posts that I said Brennan was being indicted. He was indicted. He hasn't been indicted yet. So.
Sorry.
That was my bad.
Allergies.
But John Bolton has been indicted. He's been indicted on 18 counts, isn't it? Is that what it was? 18 counts? And I think that 10 of them,
what is it?
16 counts, 18 counts, whatever.
Whatever. Again, someone was indicted. He got it wrong. Then he's trying to correct it. But then also he's not showing any citations. That's why showing citations is very important. If you're going to claim that someone's getting indicted, or is indicted, or will get indicted, like, show something as citation, because by your memory doesn't help you. Like, come on.
There's a lot of counts. There's like 8 counts of mishandling classified material and 8 counts of something else related.
Again, this guy has not been indicted yet.
Into it, but it's just like, dude, he is so screwed. And
Sorry, no, I think so. He said, I don't know. He said this guy was indicted. I don't know who he's talking about.
What Bolton was doing doing, for those who don't know, he was sending classified information to his AOL email, which is a big freaking no-no, right? Anybody who's had classified information knows you don't send it via personal email. There's only two reasons to do that. One, you want to leak something, right? This is why the attorney that was just fired not long ago.
I will just say this on this whole thing, right? We'll move ahead and I'll just say this whole, you know, long monologue about this. What Steve is trying to do here is he's trying to say, see, I got this one thing right, so everything I say, rest of the things I said is right. That's how he's trying to weaponize this moment. He got one fact right, or maybe one or two facts right, and he's saying based on that, everything else I say has merit to it and is correct, and trust me, bro. That's what he's trying to do. And I'm watching you, Steve. I know I can see what you're doing because people have started questioning you, even though they're just one person and actually two people who questioned you, but you're getting nervous. One, because there's complete silence and nobody's validating you, so you're getting nervous now. That's also another thing.
Ago for the one that didn't bring charges against Letitia James.
I like this. Rodent from the live chat. We all know classified documents should be stored in the bathroom. That's funny. That's funny. Oh my god. Ugh.
She was just recently fired for sending information to her personal email. And the reason why people do that is because they can have a hacker come in. They'll call it a hacker. But basically, you can just give them your password. They can come in. They can either hack or use your password and then take the email and leak it to somebody.
What the fuck are you talking about, Steve? You're making no sense. Who the fuck is he talking about? Hold on. Give me a sec. Again, he's just going meh 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 meh, and we don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Hold on. 3213. Hold on. Hold on. I'll have to do his homework for him because he's not just talking out of his ass right now. Hold on. God damn it. This guy, unfucking believable. 3213. Okay. Let's see. Um. Okay, here we go. What the fuck is he talking about? Someone help! Oh my god. It's like so stupid. Who is this lady? Letitia James. This is fucking rambling away. So he's saying this is why the attorney who was just fired for not long ago for the one that didn't bring charges against Letitia James, she was just recently fired for sending information. So again, attorney's getting fired apparently because, you know, Trump's not getting the results he wants. Just saying, right? But I'm just looking at this, right? It says okay, so there's nothing that a prosecutor or assistant attorney general has been fired for not charging Letitia James. Again, Steve, citation needed. Where's your fucking citation? Right? And then Letitia James is still the New York's Attorney General and has faced a federal investigation over mortgage filing discrepancies, not criminal charges, and no case was declined because an attorney failed to bring them. Email leaks to hackers theory. There's no evidence of a coordinated practice of officials sending files to personal accounts so hackers can leak them. The claim collapses into conjecture, a causal chain with zero sources. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. That's why I was just like, there's nothing in my notes here about this. No, you just classified. Put classified on a path of a motel. Oh god. So what I think is that use of like we need to first know, is the use of personal email by government officials like illegal? Like, or is it just a compliance issue? There's a difference between it being a compliance issue and it being illegal, right? And this whole hacker leak scenario, it's all just speculation again. And then this whole like thing around Democrat and media being, in cahoots or something like that. Again, that's speculation. Again, if I might dare say, conspiracy, right? So he's just sitting there and just ranting away. That's why I had to go and double check what the fuck he's talking about, because I couldn't find anything in my notes. You're so behind again. We are about to finish. We might go for another 5 minutes, 7 minutes, and then we will be done for today. So, and then we'll do it again next week, because I don't want it to go for too long. I started at 8:30. If I finish at 11:30ish, should be okay, I think.
Right, to the mainstream media, which loves classified leaks, because the mainstream media is absolutely in collusion with the DNC and the Democrats to promote misinformation. And so
again, he's like, oh no, nobody from the liberal wants to talk to me, and then he just keeps making ad hominem attacks at them, at the opposition or anyone who's he thinks is on the opposing side to him, and then he is like, why does nobody want to talk to me? You're pandering to conspiracy theories, Steve. No one wants to talk to a conspiracy theorist.
They'll either, like I say, they'll say that hackers did it, or they'll just give somebody their password and then.
Well, Mr. President, this is his Steve McRae channel, not the Non-Secular Show channel. This is on a Steve McRae Show channel. So, yeah.
Kind of covertly leak this information out. And the other reason is to maintain a record off, kind of like off books, of some of your things that you want for your memoirs and for your book, which is highly illegal. But that's what John Bolton was doing.
Again, is it a compliance issue or is it a legality issue? Can you show us something to confirm that it's a legality issue? You're not showing us anything. You're just making claims. And I just debunked one of your claims about Letitia. So even that attempt that you were doing there by claiming that you got this one fact right, and then trying to like weaponize it to say that, not to say, but to and to weaponize it so that people might think that the rest of whatever you're throwing out is right, that also failed. Gone to the garbage.
He was keeping this records of stuff, sending to his wife and to his daughter, who are now implicated. Do I think they'll be charged? Probably not.
What did he send them? Again, was it illegal to send them, or was it a compliance issue? Those are two very different things. I work in occupational health and safety. I know there's a difference between compliance and between legal issue. For legal, yes, there might be legal, illegal can be civilian charges or criminal charges. Yeah. For compliance, usually you have to take some sort of steps to show that you are ready to make amends, and you might be fined also for it. Oh my god, who the hell? Now I have to continue. No, I can't stop. Chesh is here. I can't stop now. I have to continue now. Chesh, why do you do this? Good morning. I was about to finish off, and now you're here. Okay, we will do another 5-10 minutes and then we will stop. Okay, we can start the stream now, Pibblepunk. Yes, we can definitely start the stream now. Hi, Chesh, how you doing? Guess what? All I had to do was enable two-factor authentication on my side. I didn't have it on for some reason. Now it's on.
I don't think they should be. I think they were kind of wrapped up in this, and I don't think they had any ill intent. But
what?
Yeah, he was completely mishandling classified information. And again, the problem was that he would condemn Trump and other people for doing what he was guilty for. And
again, yappity. He's not showing anything.
Yet Trump wasn't guilty for it because, as president, he has certain abilities to do classified stuff.
Yeah, Trump is excused, but not other people. As
Paul says, I missed you, Steve. Aw, you're sweet. I missed myself. Like I said, I don't stream much. I got to tell you, I've been living life pretty well lately, and
have you been? Are you just saying just to so that you can, so you can like definitely tell people that you have been living life very well? Yeah, of course you went offline because I smacked you down last time you tried to like, sit down and talk bullshit. Chesh, do you have your glasses? Yes. Okay, who's saying that? Trump, I missed you, Steve. Paul McBee. Okay, Trump isn't angry and petty with these people who are doing what only the voters want them to do, their jobs. Okay, John Wright. All right, I hear you.
Just been happy. And so I don't want to deal with online bullshit, to be honest with you. The only reason I even do the streams that I do even more, like I said, is one, because I want a record for my friends and family that if should ever happen to me or in the future one day, they can come back and see that, look, I tried to explain to my friends and family.
Oh my god. Oh god. Oh my god. Oh god.
What the hell was going on? I want to leave the world in a better position than when I came into it.
Steve and his savior complex. Oh my god. Steve. Steve. Steve and his savior complex. Hold on. I need a snack. Fucking hell. Oh my god. He's such a fucking what? What? I want to leave the world in a better place by sitting on my seat, inside my house and just like fucking screaming into my mic. Oh my god. Ay 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 ay. Oh. Where's my snack? I need snack. This is not fair. This is Why is he so what the fuck?
Because we're all going to die eventually. And so my whole position has been
Clippy wants to help you. So his channel will be a testament to his delusion down. Yeah. Look what I'm having. It's called Original Mix Buja. It's a Indian snack. I heard my phone somewhere. Where is it? Where's my phone? Where are you, honey? Where did I put you? Hmm? I heard my phone. Where the hell it is? Sorry guys, I got distracted.
why not make the world a little bit a better place than when you left it? I think as societal creatures, we have an obligation. And that's just my ethics. That's how I view things. People don't have to agree with me on that. They could be sociopaths. They could be psychopaths. They can go out seeking to harm people. I don't want to be like that. I want my daughter especially to know that her father was a good man and that he stood up for what was right.
Oh my god. This is the guy who tried to force his daughter on fucking camera. And when she didn't come on camera, he started bitch talking about her. Yeah. This guy. Where did I put my phone? I heard it. Where did I put it? What the fuck? Hmm? Where are you? My phone. Oh, found it.
Right. And I'm sorry, as much as some people may disagree with me, Trump was right. MAGA is right. Period. End of story. If you have any evidence to the contrary, I'm happy to listen to it. But these long diatribes and invectives that I've seen, like calling the Republican Party.
This whole thing is a long diatribe. That's what this is. You don't present any evidence for your claims, but you expect people who question you to come and present evidence. You're shifting the burden of proof. We see right through you, Steve. What the fuck?
White nationalist, Christian, fascist, whatever. Yeah, I have no interest in that. If you want to talk about Trump personally, I just don't have an interest in that because it's meaningless. I want to know how you feel about his presidency and why you would protest the president of the United States sending in troops.
So you have a daughter, but you don't want to talk about Trump who abused other women or sexually assaulted other women. And you have a daughter. I see.
groups. That just makes no sense. But anyways, this real quick, and then I'll get back to the live chat. He says, Merrick Garland, who used to be an attorney general, as a private citizen, while Trump was in office, rigged the 2020 election. Well, Trump did not rig the 2020 election. In fact, quite the opposite. Obama absolutely tried to rig both elections, the 2016 and the 2020.
Citation needed? If you're just going to say not true, citation needed. Just saying no you doesn't help. Oh my god. Like, what the fuck? I'm just going, what the fuck? Ah, man. Take care of your mom. Get well soon. Yeah, Obama, where, how. Yeah, no citation, nothing. Just know you. Obama did it. I don't know. Ask him. I don't know. Oops, sorry. Wrong click. Sorry.
20. He had the mainstream media in his pocket. And this is what I find to be interesting. So Trump put this on Truth
How?
Social. He said, just in. Documents show conclusively that Christopher Wray, who was a former head of the FBI, deranged Jack Smith, who was a special prosecutor who's now under investigation for a multitude of things. I think it was the Hatch Act that he's being investigated of violating. Merrick Garland, who was another attorney general, Lisa Monaco, another attorney general. All and other crooked lowlifes from the failed Biden administration signed off on Operation Arctic Frost. They spied on senators and congressmen, women, and even taped their calls. They cheated and rigged the 2020 presidential election. These radical left lunatics should be prosecuted for the illegal and highly unethical behavior.
He's reading from somewhere. Do you notice? People Punk for Five said, the irony of every right-winger saying, I need to protect my kids. Odds are petty... Oh, sorry, I'll start from again. People Punk for Five. The irony of every right-winger saying, quote, I need to protect my kids, unquote. Odds are pretty good you are the ones your kids need protection from. Pal. Yeah. Right?
And I think they will be. Arctic Frost was based upon a pretext of the Russia hoax, the Steele dossier, which I've talked about before. Here's
without showing anything for it, I bet.
What people need to understand. They signed off on spying on Trump's campaign, even to the degree that they had 4 FISA warrants. The fourth one, their lawyer literally doctored an email in order to get that 4th FISA warrant. This is not opinion. This is hard fact.
Where is it? Show us. Where is it? Show us. Show Elmo. Tell Elmo. I gotta need that now.
Go look for yourself. And they use these things as a pretext to try to spy, not just on his campaign, but on Republicans that supported him, such as Turning Point USA, Charlie Kirk. There's an overlap there. All this stuff is related. There's no question about it. Right? I mean, they were spying.
Yeah, I don't believe him. No. He's just reading some conspiracy theory website. That's what he's doing right now.
On Turning Point USA. Why? Because they supported Trump. Now, I am antithetical to what Candace Owens puts out. I mean, she's just a Looney Tune, right? She's all putting out that Trump, I guess, had something to do with it, or this was like Israel's conspiracy. No.
Yeah, right. Original Ninson. Who needs sources anymore?
I do believe this was a sort of lone shooter. I do believe that he did have help as far as people in his Antifa discords, or these people that were knowledgeable about it. There were definitely people there that day that knew what was going to happen.
Antifa discords? What the fuck? Jessica Johnson. Like, I've seen nonsense like this on FB. She screams blocked cousin on Facebook. Chesh from the live chat, it's related, quote unquote, is meaningless. Of course your conspiracy is related, dumbass. Or it could be a satire site that he couldn't tell. It's possible. It's really possible. Man, the chat on that must be bonkers. That's the chat. Hold on. This is the chat. That's it.
I do believe that. And I do believe that was very, very strongly related to Antifa, Trans-Tifa, and an organization called Queer.
Trans-Tifa? Steve, you have lost it. You fucking lost it.
Armed Queers of something or other. I don't remember the name of the group, but these were terrorist organizations that the shooter had been involved with.
Citation needed? Again? Citation needed, please? Can you provide us with some citation, you fucking baka? Okay, hold on. Look at this. My pause game is on point. It's on fucking point. Look at this.
But also, they spied on U.S. senators.
Trans-Tifa?
Sitting U.S. senators. Now, I've only been able to determine they got the metadata, which is going to be the time of the call, who was called, but not tape the calls themselves. But apparently, they actually taped some phone calls as well. But why would they spy on these people? The phones they use, the senators use a very specific system, right? They have a phone that they use in order to talk to each other, to have political discourse that should not be privy to other people. These are internal communications, highly sensitive internal communications that shouldn't be made public. So why would the Biden administration spy on them? The only reason they were because it was for political advantage for Biden and the...
Prove it. Political advantage. Look at his face. My pause game was on point. Look at that face. Look at that face. Look at that face. Face.
Democrats, because they used, again, a faked Steele dossier as part of Russiagate to pretext going after anybody who supported Trump. The same reason why Trump supporters got blasted off social media. Trump got blasted off social media. Do you guys remember? Trump's Twitter account was taken down by Twitter.
Yeah.
If that wasn't an affront to free speech, then what was? And this was a coordinated effort.
Again. No. Steve. Twitter is a private platform. It's not a public, it's not a government property. What the fuck are you talking about? Twitter does not owe you freedom of speech. You said that a few years ago.
To silence conservative voices speaking out for what they knew was a criminal conspiracy against Trump.
Somebody help me, man. What is he talking about?
And against anybody that supported him. And I do think that you would be able to see indictments on this. Like I said, I definitely know that Jack Smith's being investigated. Merrick Garland, I thought, had to appear before Congress not too long ago, didn't he? I think he was one of the people that were having to testify because I know a couple people postponed. Hillary Clinton.
I can actually, Chesh. Let's do that, shall we? Hold on. I gotcha. You're gonna have some fun. Let's look at Steve Min doing stupid stuff. I cannot rhyme for the love of my life. Okay, hold on. We bring it here. Go down, down. Where is it? Where's Steve? Where the fuck is Steve? Chesh, where is it? Okay, hold on. Aha! Here we go. Can you load, please? Thank you.
There's certain things you can say that's more along the lines of just giving your opinion, and that's covered under what's called free speech. And free speech, unfortunately, has been taking a backseat to certain people who think they have the right to tell people what to say and what not to say.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Previously.
And AT2 wanted to make sure that we explained freedom of speech is freedom from government reprisal in the United States.
Yeah, it has
is not
nothing to do with
freedom
this.
From all
Yes.
criticism and
That
consequence.
is absolutely true, Jared. And people don't seem to understand that. You don't have free speech on a platform. We don't have free speech on YouTube. You don't have free speech on my channel. Get used to it. And I wouldn't expect that from any other channel.
In Steve's own very words, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just saying. Oops.
Clinton postponed and Bill Clinton postponed, but they were supposed to testify in front of Congress this month relating to Epstein stuff. And Merrick Garland was supposed to come in as well, relating to some of the things with the Acosta agreement with Epstein. And those were private, so we don't know what happened. I don't even know if Garland did actually.
Okay. Yep.
But I thought this was interesting because, as people have pointed out on here, not too far down, we have the evidence for what Trump is talking about.
Okay, go
by
on.
Senator Grassley.
Oh, really?
I thought I saw somebody post it. I'll go find it if not. But yeah, but we have the evidence that supports this.
Where is it, Steve? Please.
This is not just pie in the sky thinking.
Do you see that Katie Joy is still obsessed with her?
Grassley put out the actual evidence the other day showing that
why was it postponed?
They did.
Why was it postponed, Steve? What happened?
In fact, spy on these people. And here you have Newsom right here. Look, this is what I'm saying. This is how the liberal mentality. The man-child in the Oval Office got his feelings hurt, so he's punishing the American people with higher costs. Who believes this shit? Come on. Are you that stupid to believe Newsom? Newsom is not arguing about... oh, this was something else. Okay, but anyways.
Oh, maybe because he's right. Maybe because he's right? Oh my God.
But still, the point is that he's not. This is about the tariffs and what Canada did. But he's not even arguing about that. He's not defending anything. He's just insulting.
He wants to insult freedom of speech. He's insulting. Why don't you talk about tariffs?
Trump. That's all he's been doing. Here, I think I was going to hear it. Where somebody posted Senator Grassley. Here, right here. Yeah. Just received this doc from DOJ. Proof that Biden Attorney General Merrick Garland plus Deputy Attorney General Lisa Monaco plus FBI Director Chris Wray all personally approved opening Arctic Frost. This investigation unleashed unchecked government power at the highest level. My oversight will continue. Yeah, what they did was illegal.
Can you read what he has posted? Will you read that, please?
We're talking about fascism. How is it not fascist to spy on your political opponent? To spy on...
Read the fucking damn thing, Steve.
Sitting senators. If that's not the peak of...
Just shouting does not make your point true or valid. Just saying. Right?
Fascism, what you expect. But Democrats silence on it. They're absolutely silent on it. Why? We have actual...
Maybe because they're waiting for the, investigations to finish before they start saying something. Maybe. I don't know.
Proof of this. We have the documentations that show that they signed off on this.
What does this say, Steve? Read the damn thing. Read the damn thing.
We have the documentations that show.
Just because you say doesn't mean it's there. We don't know what the fuck this is. This is just Steve saying because he said it, it must be so. He doesn't read anything, doesn't tell us, nothing. Just trust them. Okay. Few things. Yeah. This is like he's trying to use his imagination for espionage. There were letters from Senator Grassley, right? Which reference a declassified project named Arctic Frost. A counterintelligence mandate metadata probe, right? But no evidence shows it taped senators. There's no evidence of that. Or recorded calls. There's nothing like that. It's about metadata. And if I might, if I can, let me see. Does that work? Let me see. If I post here. I'm doing Steve's job for him. God dang it. Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley and Senate Permanent Subcommittee on Investigations Chairman Ron Johnson, along with 16 bicameral colleagues, are demanding the Department of Justice and Federal Bureau of Investigation produce all records relating to the Biden's FBI's successful efforts to secretly obtain phone data from members of Congress as part of its Arctic Frost investigation. The lawmakers are also requesting DOJ seek judicial authorization to gain access to relevant records, which are subject to federal grand jury secrecy requirements. Given these materials relate to an unprecedented collection of records and information on sitting members and raise serious constitutional concerns, Congress needs for these records to clearly outweigh any interest in secrecy, the lawmakers wrote. So, what Steve is doing here is he's doing Gish Gallop, right? He's flooding the listener with unverifiable details. So, when you try to refute it, it's exhausting. That's what it is. And then he goes into this like performative outrage, you know? Look, I'm shouting, so this must be bad, right? That's what all this is. This is just complexity without content. A camouflage. That's, if I might dare say.
Show that they signed off on.
Oh my god, he's so loud. I need to reduce
this. So, can somebody tell me how this is not traitorous? This is.
Read the fucking document. What the fuck? Just because someone approved opening of Arctic Frost doesn't mean that Arctic Frost, you know, gathered data for political gains, for someone's or sitting presidents or sitting presidents' parties' political gains. That has to be proven with proof that all this guy is saying is that yeah, they signed on Arctic Frost. What's the scope of Arctic Frost? Can you please tell us that? Would love to know. Can you please tell us? Yeah, Steve needs to watch Caffeine Corner. What is he reading? I'm lost. He's saying that a certain senator, Chuck Grassley, we just saw that, they sent a letter because they wanted to find out, or they want some, you know, what do you say? It says demanding the Department of Justice and Federal Bureau of Investigation to produce all records relating to the Biden's FBI successful efforts to secretly obtain phone data from the members of Congress as part of its Arctic Frost investigation. Right? So the same guy over here is saying he just received this documentation from DOJ proof that Biden Attorney General, Deputy Attorney General, FBI, all personally approved opening Arctic Frost. Okay, they did. What's the scope? And why is the scope bad? What's the scope of this operation? What's the reasoning behind it? How do you know who benefited from it? Just sitting there and saying that and saying it's traitorous is not gonna work, Steve. People are not that stupid. Trolls make you think that you know that they are stupid, so you can say whatever you want. But they just want you to spread misinformation. Tell us? Nah, that's woke. So yeah. What time are we stopping at? 42:39. Josh, what do you think? We should stop here, and I will do the rest next week. I'm just tired. This is tiring. As I said, he floods, his audience and his listeners with so much stupid misinfo that when you go around to debunk it, it's exhausting. So I think we should wrap it up here today. It's been 3 hours. I think so. That's good enough. 40 minutes, 3 hours. Not bad actually. So yeah, I'm just saying this guy is full of shit. I'm doing his job of fact finding, right? And researching live here. Yes, Chesh, give us permission. Yes, Chesh, please give us permission. Can we please? Please? Please, pretty please? I'll do it. I'll finish it next week. I promise. I promise. I'm so cold. Oh my god, sweetie. Oh my god. Okay. Um, so somebody did set up a goal though. Have you met the goal? Muffin time dance. Listen, guys, come on. Muffin time dance. Nothing? Oh my god. Okay, no worries. Next time then. Next time. Cash, what happens if the goal is not achieved? What are the super chats? Let's have a look. Two, the irony of every right-wing winger saying, I need to protect my kids. Yeah, half point for him for not saying a bummer, I guess. Yeah. Hey, remember when Steve complained that the FBI stopped taking his call? Yeah. I wonder why. Yeah, right? You don't know? He tried to frame a woman from another state with like charges of fraud, like and then tried to like call FBI and say that that woman was trying to like swat him. And the FBI was like, just shut the fuck up and go away. That's what happened. And because of that, because of doing all that and all this conspiracy that he was trying to create around that woman, he got a lifetime restraining order against him. He got one. Katie Joy had gotten one against him. That lasted a year, I guess. And now there's one. Another woman got it against him for lifetime. So think about that. How we know that he got it for lifetime? Because all the stuff he said about that woman is gone from his channel, from his socials, from everywhere. Gone. Fucking gone. This is about Sharia, right? What the fuck? Oh my god. Ugh. Alright, cool. We'll stop here. And then we'll do the rest next Saturday or Friday or Thursday. And tomorrow you'll see me again on Dumb Fact Friday if I'm not wrong. Right, Chesh? Smitty just sent me a meme. Alright, cool. Thank you guys for joining me and listening, enduring Steve with me. And hopefully, Sharla, what the fuck I want to correct. Yeah, it's Sharla, sure, yeah. Oh my god. My dentures are gonna fall out. Don't make me so much laugh, dude. My dentures will fall out. Oh god. Yeah, it's about Charlotte. It is. Alright, cool. Everyone, have a good night, a good day, good afternoon. You're welcome, original. Yeah, 12 hours from now. 12 hours later. um, yeah. So if you have any comments, please do comment. And yeah, keep the conversation going. Let's just smack Steve like a bag of rice. Let's just smack him and smack the like button like a bag of rice. Right? It's very satisfying to smack a bag of rice. Let me just tell you, it's very, 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 very satisfying. All right. Thank you so much for coming. No dentures is equal to. Oh my God, Steve, stop! 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 Okay, bye. 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 Bye.
Oh? See, that would be intimidating if you were, well, intimidating.
Are you mocking me?
Oh no, 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 no. Yeah.